Good day, everybody, and welcome to the Ammunation. I'm your host, Craig Bragg. With me tonight, as always, is the irreverent Irving Twin, my co-host. How are you tonight, Mr. Twin?
Living the dream. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I have aching pectorals, and you have your internet throttled by the government.
Justin Trudeau hates me.
Yeah,
He
I
does.
think he hates most people. He's an elitist snob who hates most of his constituents. That's my opinion, anyway. Uh, he is a narcissist and a sociopath, psychopath, one of the two. But speaking of my aching pectorals, shall we do you even lift, bro?
Let's do it.
Yeah, we'll get right into it. With do you even lift, bro? How's your fitness journey been going?
I'm back in the gym on a regular now, and
Good.
I have strangely early hours, so I get to the gym, with the sun still up, which is nice.
Cool.
Because still dead of Canadian winter, but we're having
Yeah.
a early spring according to the groundhogs, they say, and it has
So
been
both
unseasonably
so
warm.
so both Puxatawny Phil and Wyerton Willie said early spring?
Yes, sir.
Oh, good, good, good.
Yeah.
So consensus is reassuring. Mr. Costin says, "Greetings, wonderful, wonderful seeming and wonderful adjacent people." Greetings, Mr. Costin. Thank you for joining us tonight. Doesn't everyone hate Irving Twin? Well, I don't hate Irving Twin. He's one of my closest friends. I like Irving Twin quite a bit.
Justin Trudeau hates me. Doesn't everyone hate you?
Oh, doesn't Justin Trudeau hate everyone? He hates everyone but himself.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not particularly likable, and that's kind of by design.
I
Like, I don't
disagree. I
really
think
like people. No, I
I
don't like
disagree.
people.
I think you're one of the most affable people I know.
No, sometimes my abrasive style can be perceived as charming by
Yeah,
some,
that's what
but
makes you affable.
I don't know.
I think that's what makes you affable. So what'd you get to today? How many times you go in a week now?
I'm aiming for 4,
Yeah,
so that way, if there's something comes up and I only do 3, I'm still going to the gym 3 days a week, right?
right. I'm doing
Which is like
three.
sort of the minimum.
Yeah, I'm doing three a week. I do. I switched to Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday because we're training our little puppy, Miss Trinity, on Wednesdays now, and it's just easier for me to go a day when we don't have other things planned.
Yeah,
So
always.
and I found, man, because it's the new year, it's full of new people. And if I go early in the night, like before I was going at like 9 o'clock at night, which is late, and one of the people even commented, "You always come really late." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's just I just put it off till later, and then I come here and it's quieter, and I know I can get a machine and blah blah blah,
Yeah.
right?" She's like, "Yeah, you're right." So anyway, um, I was 8 to 4 this week, so I was able to get out a little bit earlier, and I ended up going one night at 7.
Hold on.
Sure,
I got to interrupt. You
go.
got really Canadian. You got O to work real early.
Did I
You
say O
said
to
that.
work? Oh my God!
Yeah.
All right,
Eight
I
to
did get
four,
O
so
to
I got
work.
O to.
O to work real early. I finished at 4, so I stopped working early, and I was able to get to the gym earlier than normal. Uh, It's got there around 7:30, and it was crazy busy. I was like crowded, and I like to pace between sets because I like to get steps in. I don't like to just sit there and scroll through my phone. So between sets, I set my Fitbit for a 2 minute timer, and then I just pace. I go back up and down the aisles or whatever, out of people's way. I'd make sure not to get in people's way, but I couldn't do it this time because there were so many people all moving about, and I'm like, yeah, I don't like that. I went today at around just before 5, and that was the perfect time. There was like nobody there. So I was like, oh, okay, good. 5 o'clock Saturday, not a bad time to go. Good to know. And today I worked on push exercises. So I'm doing push, pull, legs, or push, legs, pull, or pull, legs, push. I think that's my sequence. Pull,
The order
legs,
doesn't
push.
matter.
It doesn't,
It's
yeah.
yeah.
But today was push. So I did some bench presses. I did some shoulder presses. I did some flies. I did some more flies. I did chest press, like a seated chest press on a machine.
Mm-hmm.
I did some chair dips or bench dips because I'm not confident enough to do full dips yet. I don't think my arms are strong enough to do full dips. My 220
So
frame, 20-pound body. I did some lateral raises on the lateral raise machine. In total about 7 exercises. Two of which were in a superset, 2 sets each, and that fucking nearly killed me. I did 15 chair dips or bench dips, and then dumbbell flies lying back
Yeah,
with 20-pound dumbbells, which is an improvement. It's a new PR for my dumbbell flies. I was doing
good
15
for
last.
you.
So two 20 pounds, so 40 pounds total. So I did 15 bench dips, 12 dumbbell flies, rest, 15 bench dips. I think I did 8 dumbbell flies on the second. And I was like, okay, I'm fucking spent. I got to stop. I had to drop them. So yeah.
That's actually a good thing. Like
Oh,
that's what they call to failure, right? That
yeah,
you if you're doing, like, let's say your plan is 3 sets and you're
yeah,
aiming for 12 reps. If
yeah,
you completed the 12 reps on the third set, you should do another set
yeah.
because you obviously can do it and you're trying to get to a point where you can't. That's how you
Right.
cool the muscle
Right.
and
Well,
the
I
strength.
have so the Movati I work with. I My gym is Movati, and I've got a Movati app, and basically it has a way for you to track your workout for the day.
Mm,
And they have like a little competition to see what your activity points are, and it puts you in different categories with other members, and you get ranked. I think I'm like 19th for my rank, or
nice.
19th for my gym, I should say. I'm in 19th for my gym, which is pretty good because there's like hundreds of members at that gym, but they're not all tracking, right? It's only of the people tracking, I'm number 19. Anyway, um, so I track my exercises, and I can when I pull up an exercise to do it, it shows me what I did last time. So I know if I'm going up in reps or if I'm going up in weight. I did barbell shoulder press today, which I don't normally do. I normally do it with dumbbells.
Yeah, me too.
So so I did a seated barbell shoulder press thing. That was fun. I started with just the bar at 45 pounds, and then I added 2.5 on either side, so I went up to 50 pounds, and I couldn't finish my third set.
Good,
So
good. That's
yeah.
yeah,
So
because
yeah, no, it's been good. I can when I look at myself, I can see my chest growing. It's not where I want it to be, but I can see it's getting bigger. I can see my shoulders are starting to take shape. My arms are starting to take shape, especially my triceps. When I look at my triceps, I'm like, holy fuck, because I love doing the tricep pull downs with the little V
yeah,
bar. I don't use the ropes. I use the V bar, and I love doing them because it's such a good burn on the triceps, and I feel those like muscle fibers ripping, and I'm like, oh
yeah.
yeah, that's like, and it's for whatever reason, for some reason, that particular exercise, it's a good feeling burn. I don't know why, but it is.
They're in normie life, they're typically underappreciated muscles, but
Yeah,
in most of your workouts, they're doing something,
true.
right? So yeah, like they're getting hit pretty good on all your push exercises, and then
Hmm.
you go hit them isolated, and they're like, "Yeah, motherfucker, I still got like a ton left." Like,
It's true. I just remember reading comic books, right? And you look at the artwork, like the Ditko artwork, or you look at the different artwork of the heroes, and they're wearing tights that look like just colored skin. And
yeah,
you look at the triceps, and it's like a horseshoe shape. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, I want that horseshoe shape.
yeah,
I don't quite have the horseshoe shape, but I do have a little groove there.
you're getting the dip. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I got a little groove in my tricep, but I don't have the
Okay,
horseshoe
so
shape.
the push downs that you're doing
Yeah,
are working the exterior side,
yeah.
right? So you're going to get that line that comes up here. But if you want the other one, you have to point your elbow away from your hip to work the interior part
So
of
I
it.
have to do like overhead pulls or face pulls.
Pushes.
Oh no, because pulls are gonna work my back. So how would I do
No, yeah,
overhead?
yeah. So what you do is you grab it behind you if you can lower the cable part down,
Yeah,
and then push
and pull
straight
it
up
up.
with your elbows pointed to the
Oh,
sky
good
rather than
call.
towards your hips.
Good call. Okay, I'll try that
Yeah,
next time. I'll try that next push day. It's weird because it's a pull down exercise, but it's working a muscle that normally would be exercised by pushing, right?
well, because it extends the arm,
Right.
right? Whatever straightens your arm is going to hit your tricep, and wherever your elbow's pointed in relation to your spine is
Yeah.
going to determine which side of the tricep is getting focused, right? Because
Cool.
it's called a tricep. It's literally three muscles in there, right? So you've got
Right.
to hit
Right.
it at different angles to get it to do all its stuff.
Yeah. Oh, we're up to 5 people watching. If you're in the chat, if you're in watching and you have access to a keyboard or your phone or whatever it is, leave a message in the chat. Let us know you're here. Oh, and it went down to 4 now.
Hmm.
Now I'm sad. They're like, oh no, I got called out. I gotta leave. Anyway, we can move on from Do You Even Live, Bro, to Do You Even Game, Bro? Thank you, Mr. Twin, for joining me in City of Heroes the other day. That was a lot of fun. You, me, Pox Toxic, CMAC, and from your channel, Mr. Dax. Was it Mr. Dax or Mr. Jax? I can't remember. But
Jax,
he
yeah.
joined us, and basically he was like he walked us through those adventures, those missions, man. That
Yeah,
was
he's
fun.
very high level. Was he like 20
He's a
something?
much
Like,
higher level. CMAX high level now. She's at like 20, level 20
holy
right
shit.
now. I know.
I think I'm like level 7.
Yeah, well, I've got a bunch of alts, right? But uh Canada Man is level 11 right now, and Crimson Lynx is level 13, I think. So I think Lion of Britain's like level 9 or 10 or something. I got so many alts. I showed them today when I was live streaming, or no, yesterday when I was live streaming. If you missed it, I live streamed last night a couple hours playing City of Heroes, where I was making missions for other players to play. There's a function or a feature in City of Heroes called Architect Entertainment. It's this little building you go to. You go and you talk to NPCs and say, "Yeah, you can go make adventures." And what they are basically, they're like danger room sequences. You just put other players through danger room sequences, and there's hundreds and hundreds of published on there. And you as a player, if you're tired, if you've done all the missions, like all the actual storyline missions, and you're like, I don't want to do any more radio missions, they're boring, go and do one of these architect entertainment missions. It's going to be something new and fresh. And there's ones there that are like specifically for farming. If you really want to make a lot of influence, which is the in-game currency, you can go there and farm those missions and just get tons and tons of influence, tons and tons of drops for salvage and recipes and whatnot. You go and sell those on the auction house, and then you get tons of influence. So there's lots of things to do in this game. A game that is what, 14, 15 years old and is free to play with no microtransactions, no pay to win. It's what MMOs used to be and what MMOs should be. They should be basically community settings for people to go and hang out and have fun and not get all caught up in being the best. Just get caught up in playing and having fun, being with your buddies, or being with total strangers and finding new buddies. Anyway,
I
that's
did
my
like
rant.
the idea of Eve Online.
Eve Online is much more like cutthroat, right? You have to try and survive, right? And when you
Well,
die, you
okay.
die permanently.
No, no, no. It's
Oh,
just,
you don't die permanently.
no, yeah, like you can, but shit can go very wrong. Like your build or player will survive, but so I always had this idea of like the MMO where what you do actually has an effect. It's not like everybody starts at the same level and goes and does the same missions. So you
Right.
choose your character and you go run the missions you just ran with the other alt character yesterday.
Yeah.
No, that mission is completed and that challenge is gone. That bad guy's been defeated. That problem is solved. The world moves forward. Eve Online is like this. People can band together and actually build like a fucking space station that's for their crew and control an entire fucking solar system and shit,
Hmm.
right? There was a time where there was a battle that waged for something like 72 hours. That one faction, all human players, launched a surprise assault on this fucking space station. And players were like messaging each other frantically, going, "We're under attack. We need as many people online as possible." I don't know how they organized the first couple of hundred people to organize this assault, okay?
Yeah.
But then for the next like 3 days, every waking moment that people were not at work, they were on Eve Online, counter striking and counter strike. They destroyed like half the fucking game. Thousands of players
Well, see,
online at times in
that's
constant combat.
that's kind of like what Star Wars Galaxies was meant to be. And for a while, EverQuest was like that too, right? It was very brutal. Like you didn't have a choice if you were going to be ganked by a player. Like there weren't PvP free zones. Like once you logged on, someone could kill you. I remember when I played EverQuest the very first time I downloaded it back in the early days. I'd heard a lot about it. I'm like, "Ah, I'm gonna try this. I downloaded it. No, actually, I got a disc because that's how old it was. I got a disc. I created a character. I appeared in the spawning area, and no word of a lie, a minute later, somebody killed me. I think I went into like a tavern or like a common area, like an indoor common area, and then I went out and somebody killed me. I'm like, what the fuck is it? I don't want to play this fucking game. What an annoying time. Like this is horse shit. So a lot of griefing going on in the early days. City of Heroes did it right when they did it, in my opinion. You start out PvE only. You're learning your character's abilities. You're fighting bad guys along the story. You know all the gangs in the city. You hit level 10, you can then do PvP. But they didn't bring out PvP right away. It wasn't until City of Villains was published where they brought out PvP.
Mm.
Uh, and now they've got multiple options for PvP. So there's an arena in this Pocket Dimension bar called Pocket D, where you can go and fight villains. And it's so basically in the VAR, villains and heroes can congregate together, and it's a completely battle-free zone. You can't hurt anybody. But you can go through doors within Pocket D to areas to go and fight. And there's like a fight organizer where basically they'll plot you down somewhere in the city. So it'll be like an instance map of Atlas Park, let's say, and you'll go down there and there'll be six of you and you'll just fight like a free for all. So lots of options to do PvP if you want. But I think they were smart when they said, let's just release it as a PvE game because it was a new game and it was a new concept and it was still a new sort of genre of gaming. So they were kind of testing the waters.
Mm.
Um, Costa says, I promise not to Kate, Craig Bragg, and EverQuest. What is that, Kate? K8? Is that
I
kill?
don't. I don't know the slang. The
I
EverQuest
don't know
slang.
either. It probably has to do with like killing or something. I didn't know you played EverQuest there, Costin, but maybe it was you. It could have been you. Anyway,
Hmm.
yeah,
See,
that's fun.
My problem with Eve is that I'm a flyer. I love flight games, flight simulator games, and the flying of spaceships in Eve Online is so fucking arcadey and shitty. It's just like, oh god, why?
Well, isn't it Elite Dangerous the one that's really good for that? Like it's got the good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the flying is very good.
I kind of like No Man's Sky. I think that flying's all right, but I don't like the flying stuff. For me, it's just like I got to get my ship because I want to go to another planet and hunt resources.
See,
So
so
I couldn't
now
care less about the flying stuff.
now we've got to have a game that's more like fucking Firefly, right? Where I am a leaf on the wind and you're the guy with the gun. You know what I mean?
I
Right?
hear you. I hear
Yeah.
you. No, no, it's true. I am looking forward to that Light No Fire. I want to hear more. They made this big announcement, showed a trailer a few weeks back, and then everybody's like, "Oh, it's probably going to be out soon. Maybe it'll come out in the first quarter of first half of 2024." I'm like, maybe. Who knows? Like, I
No,
want to
it's gonna be
play it, but what's that?
2025, isn't it?
Probably. It's Hello Games, man. And I think they're a little gun shy because when they talked about No Man's Sky, they promised so much and then they actually didn't deliver that much. And it wasn't until like 3 years later that they've actually made it close to what they wanted it to be.
But
So,
every
yeah.
update was free, so
That's true.
like
And every
they were
update
asking
is
everyone for
for
extra
that
money.
game, as far as I know, every update is perpetually free. Maybe they'll eventually start selling, different skins for ships or something. But as far as I know, everything is something you can achieve in game with in-game currency. So
Yeah, like if there's like some kind of proper expansion pack, but as far as I know, everything they were like, look, yeah, okay, we didn't come through on those promises, so as we come through on those promises, we're just giving them to
yeah,
you.
it makes sense. That's great. It builds great goodwill, especially for people you kind of pissed off, right? Before we move on though, if you want to keep talking about games, we can, but I want to stop right now because I forgot there's a special announcement for somebody special. Given that this is the 45th episode of the Ammunation, we have a special announcement from a very good friend of mine. If you'll bear with me, please. One moment.
Hi, folks. This is Donald Trump. I'm pleased to announce Irving Twin and Craig Bragg on Ammunation. Ammunation is the greatest live stream on YouTube, so you're all in for a treat. God bless all of you.
What a nice guy.
Wow.
Isn't he great?
Thanks, Donald.
I know,
Thanks.
right? And the fact that this is his 45th. He's the 45th president, and this is the 45th episode. And he had the foresight to go. I'm going to record this for my good buddy Craig Bragg. What a solid dude. Hope you
Good
all
man.
enjoyed that. I made that about 20 minutes before the
He's
stream.
going to save the country and the live streams.
That's right. Thanks, Trump. Thanks, Donald. I shouldn't call him Trump. That's disrespectful. Um. Anyway, I just wanted to do that special announcement. I thought it was funny. It's a special announcement. There we go. Shall we move on, sir, or do you want to talk about
Wait,
games a little bit more?
no, hold on. While we're on the subject, right? You know how
Okay.
there's those games that they're like where you have what's the word I'm looking for? Sort of like classes, right?
Yeah.
Like where
Like
you're supposed to be
RPGs.
playing not even RPG, just you're supposed it's like a shooter, but you're supposed to be playing four types, right?
Right.
Like what
Tanker
was that
and
one that Pox was showing us where there's like, the tanky guy, there's the fixer and the healer and all right. Why not a
what was that
sci-fi
game?
version? I can't remember. I think it's a Warhammer type thing, right? But it's like an
Oh
undesirable.
yeah. It's not Inquisitor. It's something. It might be Inquisitor.
No, it's not Inquisitor. It it's something about like the losers or the expendables. Something it's something like
Oh,
that.
okay, yeah, because one of them's an Ogren, right? And Ogrens are
Yeah,
just like mutated humans. They're like super tards. They're basically the Down syndrome of the Warhammer universe, and they've become these supercharged monsters with retard strength. Is essentially what they
it's
are.
an Astartes that didn't work, right? Like yeah,
Yeah.
we oopsed on the Astartes, so this is what you got.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
funny.
yeah, and like they even had some of the modern warfares, right? Where you've got like your demolitions expert,
Oh
your heavy
yeah.
weapons guy, your assault dude, and then yeah, your medic, right?
You
Cat,
saying hello, buddy? This is Mac. Say hi, Mac.
no.
Mac, who's that? Who's that?
Hi, Mac.
Who's that? That's Irving Twin.
Can you hear me, Mac?
I'm
Who's a
sure
nice
he can.
kitty? I'm allergic.
Oh, you're allergic to cats? That sucks, because he's a pretty cool cat. I feel
Ooh,
bad for him though, because every time he sets foot on the ground, the puppy's like, I have to chase you now. Like every time. And
play with me.
it's about 30 minutes from his feeding, so he's down here saying, Daddy, time to feed me. I'm like, no, it's not time to feed you. You're gonna get chased. And Melina's sitting on the couch with Trinity, and she's holding her down, saying, I want to jump down. She's keeping her down. She's basically,
Oh,
you're not gonna stop her. She wants to go. She's gonna go. Trinity, leave it. Anyway, we'll see. She's a
no, but
willful dog. She's smart, but she's
for
willful.
sure, of course, smart ones always are. But no, the more broad sci-fi version of those types of games, where yeah, like I'll be the pilot. You don't like the flying. That's just the way to get from A to B.
Yeah,
But I'll specialize in piloting. My weapons will be like mediocre. I'll have
yeah,
zero hand to hand. Okay. But I'll fly the fuck out of that ship, right?
right.
Right.
Yeah, and I'll
Pox
be, and
can
I'll
be
be I'll be the guy who's like looking for iron ore, because that's kind of what I liked about No Man's Sky. Like I actually tried to avoid combat wherever possible. I was like, okay,
for some
I have
reason I just assumed you'd be the captain, right?
I'll
Pox
be
will be
captain,
demo expert.
captain and engineer. How about that?
Yeah, why not?
There you go.
Oh, CMAC can be as part of the engineering crew, or fuck if she's leveling up that quickly, maybe she's the security officer,
There you go.
right? Jesus.
Craig Rag
But
is
yeah,
talking about his bitch and his female dog.
hey.
Whoa, hey, you're talking about most wonderful woman in the world here.
She is very nice.
Maybe he means it in the terms of endearment. Yo, that bitch is like awesome, you know. If she's awesome, you wouldn't call her a bitch.
You
Anyway,
use bitches as a derogatory term. I didn't.
yeah, I meant it in the highest compliment possible. I'm like, I'm sorry, don't work that way. Anyway, um,
No. Let's develop this game. Let's get
so it's a
someone to
space
develop.
game. So you know what
Yeah.
that is? It sounds like Starfield. Except Starfield was a
No,
disappointment.
but Starfield's not multiplayer.
No, it's not, which is a
No,
mistake.
that's what I mean. Multiplayer game.
They should have
Right.
a multiplayer option for Starfield.
Well,
But
it already has Eve Online. Or not Eve Online, fucking Elite Dangerous.
yeah,
Right? Because you can hire, like, yeah, and now you can get out of your ship, eh? And not just into like the dune buggy to travel across the surface. You can first person shooter it now.
this is
So
Elite
imagine,
Dangerous
yeah,
you're talking about.
yeah.
That's kind of
Imagine you could have like a crew of people that are all on your ship.
like a supergroup base. We have a supergroup base in Sigma Flight, which is pretty cool.
Sigma flight. Yes,
You,
Fox.
you haven't been on, but CMAX been on. So I gave it I gave the. So when you create your supergroup and you name it, you can have a group motto, which is basically what your Justice League is Truth, Justice, American Way or whatever. So ours is don't be an alpha or a beta, be a sigma always. And then you have a quote of that. You have a every supergroup can have a phrase of the day basically. So when people log on, they see the phrase of the day. So I was being a little bit irreverent. I put the phrase of the day as lesbians aren't real.
Sigma Phi.
Yeah, that's right. Uh, all right. So we're gonna make this game you're talking about. I don't know anything about making games, or you're just gonna play Eve Online together.
No, I want this to be a game because I want to be like the pilot for the crew now,
Sure.
right? I want
What
to
happens
be
when you go
fucking out.
planet side though? You just sit in the ship.
No, I'll go on excursions with you guys. I won't be super useful. I'm just an extra gun, right?
Yeah,
You don't rely on me to lead the charge, but I'm there.
yeah.
But when it comes down to it, I am a leaf on the wind. I'm the best part of Firefly, the only part that mattered, Alan Tudyk.
And you're gonna die at the end though.
That's fine. I die a leaf on the wind, saving everyone's lives.
That's true. You did
Okay.
save everyone's life. All right. I think it bears discussing just because he was so kind to make a message for us. But I think we should talk about what's going on with Trump right now. Do you have any thoughts on the current Trump situation? Have you been keeping abreast of the news?
I mean, in passing, it's all fucking retarded. Clown World is getting worse and not better.
It's true.
Uh, they're talking about like Tim Pool was always like, "This is going to be civil war." It's like the civil war is already happening, and it started in Canada, right?
It started in Canada. How would you say with the
Okay,
convoy?
so Scott Moe, the premier of Saskatchewan, is
Right.
still in basically open rebellion against the federal government, who has no power to stop him right now.
Right.
Then Texas, right? And it's not going to be a civil war in the States. It's not going to be a civil war in Canada. It's one big civil war in the West. The farmers revolting out in is it Germany and France right now? Like that they're
Yep.
just losing. The yellow vest protests never stopped.
No.
They're still ongoing. It's the
Yep.
same thing. It's happening. It's been happening.
Right.
But the first part of an actual government that stood up against another branch of the government, I'm pretty sure, was Saskatchewan, right? Who
Well,
said, we're going
yeah.
to arrest federal agents who try to do anything that is against our provincial rights.
Yeah. With regards
Like,
to, and Alberta Premier did the same thing.
but afterwards,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
now it's where is it the National Guard and the Border Patrol that is federal, or like we're not going to do anything to the Texas?
Well, no.
Like,
So
they're
the
not going to go
Texas
against.
National Guard, and now it turns out Florida's National Guard said we'll send guys to help too. So the Texas National Guard was called up by Governor Greg Abbott to basically keep the areas that were being utilized closed by putting in barbed wire. Border Patrol, which is a federal agency, was in one or more situations have cut the barbed wire to let illegals come in. Now they're saying it's because they are, they're crossing at the river and they're going to drown, so we have to let them through. No, they could go back to the other bank. Anyway, so that's coming up, Costin. That is we're talking about that very shortly. Um, so basically, he called up the Texas National Guard and the Border Patrol. They're doing their thing, and then the Supreme Court ruled that yes, the federal government has the right to cut those wires. It is technically their jurisdiction. Now they weren't saying that they should. It was a 5-4 decision, by the way.
Yeah.
And so basically they said, well, then Texas is in open revolt against the federal government because they're continuing to cut down this barbed wire. Well, wouldn't you know it, Border Patrol uh, came out and sided with Texas. They said, look, we're not going to follow any orders to countermand what these people are doing. So,
So the way I understand it is that border protection and immigration enforcement
yeah,
is in fact the jurisdiction of the federal government.
yes,
So that's basically it. That's what it is. But I have the workaround. You see these rolls of barbed wire in the water, they're not put there by Texas to prevent immigration. They're put there by Texas to collect detritus out of the water, like plastics and garbage and stuff that ends up in the river. So
sure.
no, the federal government doesn't have the right to destroy those.
That's a
That's
good
just our
solution.
means of keeping that water clean. And
Yeah,
you can't fucking touch it now.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
And the
That's not a
gators are
bad
just there
approach.
for looking cool.
The Gators are just there. That's right, because he wanted to make a moat with Gators. Yeah, that was Trump's idea. Which, quite frankly, is not a bad idea. But I don't think Gators are native to Texas, so it might not
gators
be.
will gators will live where there's food.
Yeah,
If
but
there's food and water,
but where
they'll live
what I'm saying is what do you call it, the Nacho Grande River or Nacho Supreme River? I don't know that river down there. Um, it's like it's in the desert, so it's a river running in a canyon. It's not. It doesn't have the same sort of vegetation or biome that alligators are used to living in. That's what I'm saying.
there. Gators will survive. They're fucking dinosaurs. Like they're literally like they're older than the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
All right. The only major difference between what is it, almost 300 million-year-old gators is 225 million-year-old gators and
Yeah.
crocs, and today's modern is that they're smaller,
Yeah.
right? But they're fucking dinosaurs. They'll
Yeah.
survive.
Yeah. Sharks too, right?
Yeah,
Sharks descended
300
from
million years old.
Megalodon or whatever it's called. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big fucking jaws. 40-foot
And
fucking great white is essentially what it was.
Carcharodon, 100-foot long fucking
Insane.
shark. Yeah.
Insane.
And I think snakes are about 135 million years old.
Wow.
Here's a weird oddity: snakes have hips,
Yeah, because they once had legs.
but God took their legs away, and now they crawl on their belly in the dirt.
Yeah, of course. That's what
Isn't that
happened. That is interesting. No, evolutionarily they evolved from a four-legged lizard. So,
interesting?
but it fits in with the story of Genesis.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
It is weird. But anything else on the Trump situation? There is the other issue with Fannie Willis. You know about
Yes,
Fannie
you were.
Willis? We were talking about it prior to the stream. So she's now being brought up on charges because it turns out that she was stooping the prosecutor. And that's apparently a no-no in the state regulations for um, the Justice Department, the state Justice Department.
Well, I mean, you know,
She's the DA for the district DA, and he's the prosecutor. They're they're not meant to be working like that.
no, I mean, look, we use the slang term of politicians getting into bed with corporations, and
Right.
holy shit, literally getting into bed with
Yeah. Yeah.
prostitutes. Like
Yeah.
that's Kamala Harris levels
Oh
of
yeah.
fuckery.
My God. Oh, there's that James O'Keefe. Did you hear about the James O'Keefe video that came out?
I heard a little bit, and like he just takes his glasses off like Clark Kent.
He's like, yeah, and I don't think the guy recognized him at first because apparently James O'Keefe dyed his hair as well. So it wasn't until he said, "So why are you talking to Project Veritas if you're a good cybersecurity? If you're doing good cybersecurity for the White House? Do you think
Because
you're
he
doing
just
good
wanted to hold a gun.
cybersecurity?" That's what he said. Do you think you're doing so? Do you think you're doing good cybersecurity at the White House? He's like, yeah, I think we're doing great cybersecurity. He's like, then why are you talking to Project Veritas? Do you think that's good? That cybersecurity is telling intimate details about the goings on and the conversations within the White House? Do you think that's good for the cybersecurity to be sharing that information? And it was lost on the guy because he's like, you know, because he's a gay guy and he's no, not because he's gay, but he's a cybersecurity guy, and he's about the process. He's not about the reasoning behind the process. You know. Anyway.
What was it? Was it Fleckus? Do you know Fleckus Talks?
Yes.
Yeah, that he was saying, look, if you work for like any politician anywhere, and there's some hot person who's really into you, it's Project Veritas.
It's true. There's a good chance. You find you swipe right and meet up with somebody who just happened to be there and they go, well, turns out they're Project Veritas.
Yeah,
Yep.
no. Anytime someone too attractive seems to be into me, I'm like, you're a Fed.
Oh, so that's why you think Colleen's a Fed.
You're all Feds.
Sorry, CMAC. I just doxed her. Told everybody who she was. Anyway. Where's our
You're all
comments?
Feds.
We're all
Takes three Feds
Feds.
to keep
Me,
you down.
Pox, CMAC, we're all Feds. Costin, I bet you're a Fed too. No, you have too much animosity for Irving Twin to be a Fed. It's like you actually, you have to sort of cozy up to him. So I think
Yeah.
unless it's being sneaky, unless it's doing like reverse psychology. Anyway, I think Trump's innocent of all these ridiculous charges. My thoughts. I think these cases are going nowhere. I think all it is attempt to tie him up, give him bad press to people who already look at that as red meat, and make it difficult for him to campaign. But what they don't understand is that Trump doesn't need to campaign. Every time you show him on the news, you're campaigning for him.
Yeah.
Every time you talk about him, you're campaigning for him. Um, and the truth is, the people who voted for him last time, they didn't change their minds this time. So the only thing he's done is grown. Now, he may have lost some independence, but I can't imagine independents being the way they are, assuming they're intelligent or more intelligent than the tribal ones, just because they're independent. Um, uh, I don't think a lot of them are going for Biden. I don't think a lot of them could come up for a solid reason to go for Biden. I do see why some of them might be turned off of Trump, but is it enough to pull the lever for Biden? I don't know. I just don't think so. But I think he's going to win, and I think that's why they're going after him so hard. And they know he's going to win, and they know this is their last chance to launder money and be garbage people, taking advantage of the world and and facing a different system of justice. Um, they know that if Trump gets in, they that all that goes away, and so that's why they're ramping up the um, military industrial complex, the machine. They're ramping up the money laundering. That's why they're doing all of this crap, trying to cram through ridiculous legislation, uh, just so that they can get their last, feeding at the trough before it all goes away.
Uh,
Or maybe not. I don't know. What do
I
you
don't
think?
know. I mean,
You're muted.
look, they need.
I can't hear
Okay,
you.
you can't hear me.
Hello?
I hear you just fine. All my stuff looks like it's working. Did your headset go off? Chat, can you hear me? Costin, do I have volume here? Please comment. No, I just lost you now. Now you're muted. You have to talk though, or I can't tell if you're muted. No, you're muted. You are muted.
Hello? Can you
I
hear
got you
me?
now. Now I hear you. Costin can hear me. Yeah, I've got you back. Can you hear me?
I still can't hear you, Twin.
You've got a, I don't know what. Did you touch something on your headset?
What the hell?
You've
What the hell's
unmuted
going
my
on?
mic.
I can't hear you.
That's your end. It's your end.
Okay, now I can hear you.
Okay.
It's weird. For some reason my volume got scrolled all the way down. Apologies.
Okay. No problem.
Like my master volume. How that happened, I have no idea.
I can't touch it from here, but I think I have an oddity.
Oh, okay. Well, let's get over there. I missed so much of what you were saying. Hopefully, the people in the audience could hear. Costin said he could hear.
I didn't go into the idea,
Okay.
but okay. So look, if you believe in such things, they need to gather their resources and build their underground bunkers. They found those like stone bunkers from thousands of years ago, where it's like you could house like 50,000 people under
Yeah, yeah,
the ground.
yeah. It was in Spain, I think.
Uh, I think there's a couple, some in Turkey, and yeah, like
Yeah. Okay, maybe it was Turkey. Yeah.
a few of them they've discovered, right? Where apparently people seem to live there for decades.
Yeah.
Uh, well, if you believe in such a thing, our planet's magnetic field is weakening. The
Yes, I've heard
pole
that.
is shifting. The magnetic pole is shifting.
Yep.
And what's going to happen is we're going to hit that. Is it 6,500 years or so
Yeah, or
where the Earth?
12. I think it's like a 12,000 year cycle or something like that. But anyway.
Right, but there's also the halfway point of the cycle, and every halfway point, the Earth tilts
Oh,
and then
okay.
tilts.
Okay.
And that's what the Great Flood is, right? Because the tides don't stop when the Earth tilts, so
Right.
the water rushes around everything and wipes the face of the Earth clean. They know this is going to happen, so they need to steal more money and more resources to continue to build their bunkers and store up all this stuff to survive the cataclysm and then be able to try to rebuild afterwards, right? Yes, and they're happy to steal from you and me and CMAC and Costed because they're better and deserve to survive. And without people like them, the human race won't go on. Hello,
Do you
cat.
mind? Do you mind?
The cat is just confirming that I am correct. Animals can feel the shifting of the poles and the
Yep.
changing of the magnetosphere.
Yep. It's true. I've heard that dogs can tell when there's going to be an earthquake.
Yeah, most animals apparently they can
Yeah.
feel it before it's happening. Yeah, and volcanic eruptions, storms, right from far away, they can already tell.
Mm-hmm.
So here's something really strange. I'll be outside and I'll just be like, oh, it's raining. People will be like, no, it's not. And like 3 minutes later, the water starts hitting people. I felt the barometric pressure change as clouds, thousands and thousands of feet away, opened up and released water. But it takes 2 to 3 minutes for that water to hit the ground. And I know it already. I can feel the pressure change.
How do you do that?
I have no idea. I just like suddenly I'm a little bit cooler on the skin and I feel lighter.
You're like
Raining.
like a low grade mutant.
A little bit.
You're like a You should be like an X-Man or one of the Great Lakes Avengers or something.
But my powers are shitty,
That's what
right?
I mean.
I
The X. Oh,
accidentally
no, no.
they
Let me get this. When they really expanded the shit out of the X-Men, like past the Chris Claremont stuff, right? And they started bringing in everything was a fucking mutant, and they had every variety of mutant you could think of. Like there was a mutant that could fucking turn into mattresses and shit. I have no idea, but there was like mutants that did the stupidest, craziest, nutty shit, right? In addition to the cool ones, there was a bunch of really lame ones, and they could have formed their own little band of the X-Men. But what I'm saying, the Great Lakes Avengers, they realized at the end of like the last series that they were all mutants. So they were told that the Avengers wouldn't license the Great Lake to them, so they had to change the names. Like, hey, I'm a mutant too. Yeah, I'm a mutant too. I got it. We're the Great Lakes X-Men. So, and they're like really lame fucking heroes, man.
no, like okay, oh, so I can feel barometric pressure changes on my skin.
Yeah.
Um, I can accidentally turn off street lamps and be invisible to motion detectors, but
Wow.
only accidentally. I can't do it on purpose. It's really hard. This is
Hold
we
on a
can
sec
circle
though.
back.
Hold on. What is your success rate? Like how often accidentally, how often when you're not thinking about it does it happen?
So that's what I mean. This is part of why this particular kind of thing is difficult to study in laboratory conditions,
Right.
because the whole thing happens when you're not paying attention,
Right.
and then you're put in a laboratory condition and told go. It doesn't really work like that. It's very hard to clear your head and stop thinking about it when you're doing it very within
Sure, sure,
with
sure.
intent. But how many times I'll just be like, oh, I've got this to do and that to do while I'm going through my running errands. I'm on my way into the store. Okay, got to do this and this and this, and I'm walking and walking, and the door didn't open, and I'm going, what the fuck? And now I looked at the door. Now it opens.
I could think it's probably happened to me a total of like the door doesn't open or it opens late. Um, it's happened to me probably a total of 6 times that I can recall. So if you do it twice as much, I'd say it's a mutant power.
It happens to me regularly enough that it's a problem. That I'm thinking about something while I'm coming out of the can, and I go to wash my hands, and I've got my hands under there, and I'm thinking, and the water's not coming, and I'm like, why isn't the water? There it is. As
Oh,
long as
that
I'm
that that happens all the freaking time. So that I
okay,
gotta say, yeah.
okay, but it's a motion detector, and my hands aren't in a different place. But I put them under there. I'm waving my hands while I'm thinking, okay, yeah, we have this work to do and that work to do. With what's that? Oh, there the water goes. As soon as I think about the sensor reading me, it reads me. But as long as I ignore the sensor ignores me.
That's
Okay,
funny.
now here's something that is absolutely checkable and provable. This was already 10 years ago. I was 32-ish. My buddy's a teacher, and I'm at his house, and we're just hanging out and chatting, and he's playing with his phone, and he touches something on his phone, and I go, oh fuck, what the fuck is that? And he goes, you can hear that? I was like, just turn it off. What the fuck is wrong with you? And he turns it off. It's a ringtone
Uh,
for kids. People over the age of 20 cannot hear this tone because your
oh,
hearing starts degrading immediately
oh,
at
interesting.
18. So people under 18 can hear this tone, and they have their ringer set to it, so the teacher doesn't know that they're getting messages in
Oh
their
my
desk.
God, that's funny.
And I was 30 something and was like, what the fuck is that? And then I started doing hearing tests, and yeah, the normal human range of hearing is something like, I think it's 8,000 hertz at the bottom and 20,000 hertz at the top. When I did that test shortly after, I could hear things about half at the bottom end. Like, so I can't remember if it's 6 or 8,000 is the norm, but I could hear it at 3 or 4 on the low end. And in the high end, I could hear almost 28,000 hertz, which is close to what a dog hears. So a dog whistle is a little too high pitched for me to hear.
Wow.
But yeah, dog whistles are about 30,000, but I could hear almost 28, like
So,
27.9 or 27.850, something like
so
that.
you got super hearing, and you've got the ability to be invisible to motion sensors sometimes.
The trick is I have to be ignoring the sensor entirely. I have to be ignoring much of the world, and the world ignores me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a sort of here's it's going to blow your mind. It's a variation on dimensional travel. Maybe what this power is when you go into a uh, deep session of thinking. You emit these waves that vibrate the brains between realities, and you slip in between that brain and have, for a short period of time, exist in a pocket reality. And it messes up with the sensor, but eventually the sensor, when you stop thinking because you know you're supposed to be receiving a stimuli, you stop thinking about what it is you're thinking, and you start realizing what's going on around you, you immediately slip back in to this dimension.
I'm sort of out of phase
That's
with
my
with
thought.
with the world. Yeah.
Yeah,
And okay, so there was some author, I can't remember which author, but he was writing about like a kid with weird superpowers, right?
right.
And
Welcome, Pox.
Fox, hello. Uh,
And Word F slur.
and it starts pouring rain, and the kid runs inside. Okay, from the yard, he runs a minute or two. I'm
I
not a big
do.
fan of pimento.
I don't mind pimento cheese. I've actually, but I do like pimento loaf. It's
Gross.
like it's like bologna with like pimento in it. It's
Yeah.
good.
The kid runs inside. It's pouring rain out of nowhere. Kid runs inside, and his mom grabs him, and he's bone dry. And she's like, "What? How did you? How do you?" He says, "I just walked where the rain isn't." Now, when I was a kid, I remember something similar where I thought, okay, rain falls and it's not like wet everywhere. There's drops and space between them. If I run at certain angles and speeds, I can avoid every drop. And I did. And I wasn't wet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it turns out that may not be the case. I'm simply out of phase with the physical world for a minute, right? And when you're a
Yeah,
kid, it's a lot easier to clear your mind. You don't really think too much. You don't overthink anything, right?
right, right, right. But you can
Yeah,
get lost as a kid. You get lost in your thoughts. You think about
I
what
guess.
if what if He-Man fought Superman on the moon? Would He-Man have to hold his breath, or like Superman, or does He-Man not have to do that? Like this is what you're thinking when you're a little kid.
Yeah, yeah. But like, okay, so my superpowers, but they're pretty shitty and kind like if we were trying to infiltrate something and there was like motion detectors that would set off the alarm, I don't know how long I could keep a whole bunch of thoughts in my head while I try to avoid because you're trying to avoid the things, so you're sort of focusing on them already, and that keeps you in phase with that physical world, right? It's tricky. It's hard to. That's why it can't be reproduced in laboratory conditions.
No, no. It would take a genius just to come up with the procedure to experiment on it. They'd have to completely think right outside the box. They'd have to be like Doctor Who kind of levels of thinking.
No, you just have to start explaining in your head why there scientifically are no black Kryptonians. There are no black Kryptonians.
Okay.
Do you want to know why?
I never thought about it. But
No.
sure, why?
Okay, look. So in Africa, where humans apparently originated in the Middle East, right, the cradle of
Yeah,
civilization,
yeah.
very sunny, very dry. A lot of sun means dark skin, and you still get tons of vitamin D. As people move north into the colder lands where it's more overcast and days are shorter half the year, people with paler skin absorb more sunlight and get more vitamin D. so they'll be better to survive. Like vitamin D is vital to health. Ask CMAC. On Superman and Kryptonians absorb our sun's yellow light and become superpowered. Okay, so obviously there's something in their biology similar to humans where they need light of a star to create. Maybe it's not vitamin D. It's obviously not vitamin D. They have superpowers, but it's something. But Krypton is a planet that revolved around an enormous pale red star, which means whatever they're absorbing from our sun, they were absorbing from their own. But because it's far more pale with less intense light, they had to have pale skin to absorb more of it just to be healthy. So there are no black Kryptonians.
That's interesting. I think it's just because I just think it's because the Jews who invented Superman are racist.
Only one of them was a Jew.
I thought they were both Jewish.
No.
Yeah, because one of the they were cousins, weren't they?
No.
Yeah.
Ziegler and Schuster, they weren't cousins.
Yeah, because Ziegler and Schuster, those sounds pretty well. Schuster for sure, but maybe not Ziegler. Isn't it Ernst and Schuster?
No, it's not Ernst. I'm pretty sure it's Ziegler.
Anyway, I'm pretty sure that they were cousins because when we did that, that our heritage shit, right? And
yeah,
this kid's showing like the drawing he had of the character who he was describing Superman
it'll
before
never
he created
fly.
Superman.
Not fly, but he could
But
jump.
he can leap over buildings. Well, talk to your cousin, whatever, when you get to Toronto or whatever. My understanding is that they were like related. I don't know.
I don't think they were Jews. Jews couldn't come up with that.
One of them was Jewish. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, the guys who created Superman were at least one of them who created Superman was Jewish. But I think they're cousins, so they might both be Jewish. I don't know.
Jewish people, Ubermensch, nah, I don't buy it.
No, the idea was basically this was the time when they're like, we need to have a hero who looks like us, so they gave him dark hair instead of blonde hair.
But blue eyes and ripped? No, that's not Jewish.
Oh, blue eyes. Blue eyes is a mutation, right? And it's not specific to race. Like lots of races have blue eyes. Other people think I have superpowers like controlling the weather. That would be a cool power. If you could
So
really control the weather.
I inadvertently control the weather.
Costin has superpowers of knowing who is evil.
That's a good power though. Like sense evil is a really important power.
It's true.
It's very valuable in all RPGs. It is probably the most important simple power.
It's what makes paladins cool. Hunt, you haven't fed Mac yet, no? You bear with me, folks. I'm gonna go feed my cat, so he stops biting on my elbow. Hold the stream down there.
I'm gonna try.
You look at the pretty art behind me.
That is pretty art. It's like a sinking junk.
Yeah, I don't know who the artist is, but yeah, it's like a junk.
It's like a Kowloon walled city in the background. Too bad they took it down. They destroyed it. Terrible place to live, but somehow really cool. It's what every cyberpunk future aspired to be. But I just want to teleport. Bam!
That'd be pretty cool. Teleportation's pretty cool power.
Yeah, like it's what I like Nightcrawler's teleportation because he actually has to pass through a dark dimension.
Yeah, and when he does, it smells like sulfur. It smells like sulfur. Yeah.
He's passing through hell to do it, and it's really weird. And there was some arc where he could actually stop in that place, but because it's slowed down, now he's leaving the portal open long enough for things in there to escape. Where before he didn't even know he was there. It was so quick in and out that he it's just like a black spot to him. but then suddenly he's able to stay there for a short while, and then he's able to stay there longer and longer. But the longer he stays there, the longer the portal is open because he's creating portals, basically,
Right.
right? And it's
I plan to publish in May, just by the by. Awesome, Six. That's great. I can't wait to
yeah,
see it.
I still haven't read it. I'm so sorry, Six. I really like just some shit's gone down. He knows about Gordo and stuff, and
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just
Pox Toxin says, if I recall correctly, Forge made him a suit that slowed him down when he bamfed. You may be right. I don't remember if it was Forge, but I remember. Did you ever watch X-Men Evolution?
yes, that's I think where I saw this arc.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, they slowed him down. They were studying Kurt. He'd just come to the school and they made him a little watch that would hide his appearance, right? And but the professor wanted to do tests on his powers, and they found a way. It might have been Forge, who I didn't know Forge was part of X-Men Evolution, but he might have been like a guest shot. Anyway, he made him something. It was like a belt or something that allowed him to slow down through the dark dimension. Yeah, that little Indian kid was Forge. Okay, so Pox remembers it too. In the '90s, he was a beefy Indian guy with a robot. Like that's right, that's right.
yeah,
Yeah,
good character actually. Uh,
he is.
there was a X-Men movie with Forge in it,
I believe so.
and the movie was largely bad, but the parts in the future with Forge were actually pretty cool. Right, the Sentinels were after them and everything. I can't even remember which fucking movie this is. Is this one of the Wolverine films?
I don't know. I
Yeah,
have
they
no
got
idea.
really shitty.
Like I watched the first couple, but after that I was like, and I saw First Class, but I didn't like. I had no real interest in seeing the other stuff.
Oh
Um,
no, the old school ones, like where they're going back in time, and James McAvoy is those were all right.
yeah, yeah,
But then yeah, then it they got really shitty at the end. Age
yeah.
of
I believe
Apocalypse.
so.
Yeah, yeah, I think that sounds right. No, no, fuck. No, no, it's the one before that. I think.
I got just as a callback. X-Men Evolution was probably, in my opinion, I think the most high-end cartoon series that was ever aired based on Marvel characters. Like it was really, really good. Um, I wouldn't say it was better than the Claremont, like the 1990s X-Men, but in terms of its storytelling and the way it was animated, its style, I think it was just solid. And it went into some of the deeper, like the more like stories of lore from way back that everybody remembers, the big deal stories. And it did like they did them justice. Like it did Age of Apocalypse, and they actually did justice to it. But I mean, it was a variation. It was sort of like a retelling, but either way. In the comics, it was Days of Future Past. Yeah, yeah. That's where
Yeah,
Cable shows up, right? Yeah.
yeah. Cable's a weird cat. Uh,
Yeah,
no,
he's the
but like
daughter.
that '90s X-Men
Hmm.
is a fucking masterpiece.
I didn't like the animation style.
For the time, that was fucking mind-boggling.
Really? You
Like,
think? It
yeah,
was kind of a mix
absolutely.
of it was kind of a mix of American or North American style and anime style.
A
I just
touch of
didn't think it.
weeaboo.
Yeah, it kind of missed the mark for me. I thought it was kind of clunky. Some of the animation like was clunky to me, but
But the
that's just me.
storytelling and the way they weren't afraid to like get dirty with it, like they kill Morph right
Yeah,
away.
yeah, yeah,
Like they make you really like him, and then they fucking kill him, and then later they bring him back, and he's back. Like what the fuck?
yeah.
Like what? Like
They went into the
this is
Claremont.
for 13-year-olds.
They went into the Claremont sort of storylines very, very deep. Like they went right in there, which is great. I appreciate
Yeah,
that. But I don't know. In terms of X-Men Evolution, I found it was more digestible. So and I liked the way the stories were told. I liked the way the characters were animated. But
Like, just fucking masterpiece. If you know it, you
Decent,
know it.
decent animation for mid '90s. Yeah, I didn't say it was bad at animation. I just
And I like the way they told those stories. Like, they really worked up to the fucking Sentinels. Where,
they
like, in the
did.
movies, they just threw them in.
Yeah, well, because they
It's
got to
like,
tell it all in
now
two
here they are,
hours.
Sentinels.
Yeah, yeah, they got to tell it all in 2 hours. Whereas, when they're doing a cartoon series, they're like, we got 13 episodes this season, so
They
that's
don't
13,
have to tell
30
it
minutes.
all in 2 hours. They've been making multiple films for a long time. They could have started with, the way in the very first X-Men movie, Famke's talking to fucking Congress
Right.
about, you know, oh well, we license people to drive, yes, but not to live. And then you could have started a movie with, well, gonna make these fucking robots that can help us. And then 2 movies later, you have fucking robots. They planned this shit in advance. They just didn't plan it well.
Yeah, I won't disagree. And as a matter of fact, I did say it was kind of bad. I just thought it was kind of clunky. That's me. Because I'm thinking, like, what year was it? It was around the '90s, right? That the Batman the Animated Series came out, right? So it was roughly the same
Okay,
time.
you're literally talking about one of the best animated things that ever existed, though, and
It's
then
true.
comparing it and saying it wasn't that good.
Right.
Yeah, it's not as good as the absolute greatest animated thing that ever existed, but it's up there. Like, it's number 4.
Okay. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Oh, I'm all blurry.
Yeah, you fell out of focus real quick
Yeah.
there.
What the hell? Freaking me out, man. All right. Pox says Cable was one of my favorites because his power was literally a nanovirus that was killing him. Yeah, that's cool. But he
But
wasn't
also,
he
he
like
was a
he was the
unique
son of
creation.
he was the son of Scott Summers and Jean Grey, wasn't he? Or Jean Grey? Yeah, Scott Summers and somebody else.
Maybe. And
1992, both shows premiered. Well, that's the thing, right? So when I look at the two side by side, I was like,
yeah,
I gotta go with the Batman the Animated Series, even though. And the thing
of
is,
course.
I wasn't even a DC guy at that time. I was more a Marvel guy. But I saw the animation. I'm like, fuck, that's amazing.
But yeah, no, Batman the animated series is
90s Spider-Man greater than X-Men? Yeah, probably. I give you that.
funny.
Ghost Rider cartoon is the goat. I don't think I ever saw the Ghost Rider cartoon.
Neither did I. I didn't even know this existed.
Yeah. I gotta
But
hand it. I think the DC animated universe is better than, like, as a continuity, is better than um, anything that Marvel's put out in terms of animated. That's just
if
me.
you hate the DC movie universe, go look up the DC animated universe. It is fucking phenomenal.
It's
It
much
is
better.
so true to the characters that, like, they don't do any woke bullshit. It's not fucking rushed. Everything is properly contained and continuous. So you could watch any single piece and have a beginning, middle, and end, and you can watch them all and have a longer story. Uh, Batman,
It's
X
true.
Men, Spider Man with the Holy Trinity in the '90s. Yeah,
Yep.
like, but you got to remember what we're following here. Like, we're following things like He Man and Thundercats, Transformers. So the X Men thing was
G.I. Joe.
GI Joe. X Men was big because they didn't, and obviously Batman and Spider Man as well. They weren't using that recycled backgrounds, recycled movement. Like, everything was
Yeah.
unique.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
shot is a properly created
Right.
shot and not just recycled images.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. 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 G.I. Joe was famous for showing, like, the same missiles flying through the sky animation.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah. We're still in Irving's oddities, man. We're moving real slow. We've been at it an hour. We just even moved past Irving's oddities. We got to
I
move
just
on.
had a weird thought, like
I know, I know.
it
But
happens.
we get off on these tangents when it's an Irving's oddity. Capitulating to the social contagion. I might be a little bit too affected by mind altering substances
My
to go through
man's
this.
been drinking weed.
Anyway, capitulating to the social contagion. This is a very serious topic. Irving, I made a video earlier today called I can't remember what was it called. I can't even remember now.
I don't know, Danielle Smith and transes or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
I watched it. It was good.
yeah, it was. Hold on.
It's a weird place, right? It really is. Like adults have to be allowed to do what they want.
To a degree, I would say to a
I'm
degree. Yeah.
sure.
Uh, I mean, I'm a libertarian, but there are certain things that people shouldn't be allowed to do to themselves. One of them being killing themselves, and second, um, hurting themselves, like actively trying to hurt themselves, even if they
No,
think it might.
no, 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 no.
You disagree. People should be
Yeah,
allowed to hurt themselves.
people are allowed to hurt themselves. You just don't like it. I don't like it either. This is a very backwards role. You're usually the one talking me down on this kind of thing.
Well,
Look,
before we get
you're
too off on a
drinking
tangent,
weed and I'm drinking alcohol.
before we too get too off on a tangent, let's just go to um,
Yes,
the speech itself. A lot of people are congratulating her on it. A lot of people are, saying that she's a terrible bigot because of it. Um, I'm
are
saying,
crazy.
I'm saying, I don't think it was the correct message. For one, I think the messaging. I think what she should have come down on is this. If I'd be making the speech, I don't think she was honest. How about that? I think she was politicking. I don't think she was being honest.
Sure.
If I were making the speech, my speech would have been more along the lines of this. Uh, we've come out with a policy on the issue of transgender um, community. Uh, we cannot support the mutilation of healthy body parts uh, and the capitulation, or not capitulation, the medical establishment collaborating with an illness such as gender dysphoria or body dysmorphia. Treatment should be to treat the mental illness, not to collaborate with it. So, uh, going forward, you will not be able to receive this sort of treatment in Alberta. That's what I would have said.
Private healthcare.
Through the public health system. How about that?
I I'm just saying private healthcare because publicly you say I'm a woman, Craig, and I
Yeah.
say I'm not paying for that. What I will pay for, what I'm happy to kick up a little bit in my taxes, is for someone to talk you down and be like, Craig, you got to talk balls there. You can produce, a small zygote.
You are
eh,
not a woman. Yeah.
you're exactly. Now, you want me to pay for your hormones? No. And but private healthcare, you're an adult, right? You earn your
Yeah.
own money. You can spend that money on what you want. And
Right.
when you mutilate yourself, you're not hurting me, so I really can't stop you. Now, am I going to say, good for you, go ahead? No, of course not. No. I, but you're my friend, so if you went ahead and did it, would I stop being your friend? I don't think so. Like
Right. Right.
I just try to avoid the topic and not talk about how I don't think this was the right decision for you because it's probably irreversible.
Right.
So what are you going to do now?
No, I understand. That's my
Yeah,
my concern with it is that medical establishment. The reason I say, it's a reasonable position to say you can't do it in this province because we're not going to allow that procedure to take place. It's reasonable to say that uh, because any doctor who is serious about what they do and has taken a Hippocratic oath to become a doctor, meaning do no harm, knows that what they are doing is more harmful than it's not simply cosmetic, right? It's not simply getting a nose job or getting a boob job. It's it's something much more. So
so
the medical establishment who are doing these operations, they're in violation of their Hippocratic oath. That's my that's my position. Um,
They're they're in violation if it doesn't help.
it doesn't help though. The data. Here's the thing: they're in violation because they're doing. Even if the argument is, well, it might help. It doesn't help. In most cases, it doesn't help. The suicidality
Right.
rate doesn't go down. People still
And
suffer from psychosis. So it's not helping. And there's no demonstrable way to prove it's helping. So uh, and since there's no data in support of this is the most efficacious way of helping the person overcome their gender dysphoria. Uh, Unless they can say it's like 98% more effective than any other system, then and they have the data to show that, they can't in good conscience say, I as a doctor will recommend this treatment and actually perform it for you.
you're you're right about the numbers. And it is a business and a dark business, right? That like they've had those leaked conversations where someone's saying, "Oh, yeah, a person who is trans is a $1 million customer over their
Yes,
lifetime."
that's right. Because they need constant dilation and drugs and all sorts of crap.
But I mean, so are fucking cancer patients and stuff. Like, so sometimes if the treatment does help, the problem is there's no scrutiny anymore, right? Where it used to be, you had to go talk to a psychologist for a year
Yeah,
before they would give you any affirmation, and then you would have to live as the opposite sex for a year without hormones or surgery.
yeah. You just have to dress and behave as.
And there was this huge study that was done. Is it GIDS? Is the acronym in England?
It sounds
And
familiar.
in Toronto at CAMH,
Okay.
Center for Addiction and Mental Health,
Yeah.
there was a doctor there where basically they had discovered without intervention, 95+% of youth, right, 16 to 18, 14 to 18, would accept their gender and not transition in adulthood,
Right.
but were just gay.
Yeah. Yeah. They're
And
they're confused about their feelings and their biology. They just didn't know.
I mean, this might be part of an oddity. We don't have to go back to the manor, but yeah, like spend a decade or two telling all the young boys from the time they're 8, 9, 10, oh, you have a penis, so you're a potential rapist and you're basically a monster. Tell all the girls, the world is against you. It's a man's world, and you'll never get anywhere because you're a woman. Then, after decades of this, tell them there's a way out. You can be the other gender.
Yep.
Then just go ahead and affirm that and start charging them money to transition, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't have to be the monster and you don't have to be the victim. You can just pay money and you'll get to be not a monster or a victim. And it's like, yeah, wow.
That's right.
Wow, what a
Uh,
racket.
Costing asks for children or adults too. Well, in my opinion, it should be for. I don't think doctors should do it at all. And I think a doctor. You know how when Henry Morgentaler became a big household name because he was assisting people in suicide? Oh no,
Wait,
Morgentaler was an
Kevorkian.
abortion doctor. Sorry, Kevorkian.
Kevorkian.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Morgentaler was a abortion doctor. That's my mistake. Yes, Dr. Jack Kevorkian was big in the news for a while because he was the first guy who was a doctor was going to help people die. He had a machine that you could hook them up to that would basically put them to sleep. Um,
No, no, no. He hooked them up to it, put the control in their hand, and left the room.
that's right. Yeah, yeah. Um, which is smart because he doesn't actually do it, right? I guess the hooking up could be part of the operation
Still got
too.
convicted and went to prison.
Yeah, that's right. Um, that was considered controversial, right? And he was considered a big deal. Like, what the hell? Who would do this? I don't remember ever anybody talking about the sex change operation that was developed, as they call it, and talking about it as though it were something that, you know, controversial. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just basically, oh yeah, they do sex changes now. It just sort of, and it wasn't very common. And back in the day, the opinion was, wow, whoever thinks that they're the opposite sex, they're just a nut job. That was basically the thought of it at the time. Just kind of interesting.
Well, I mean, apparently there was a whole bunch of documentation about this stuff in the 30s and early 40s, but
Really?
that got destroyed.
Oh no shit, eh? That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, no, some people were very upset about it, and they just threw all those books about with all that information into the fire.
Oh, and that's why. But back then, people were very supportive of it. All the data was very supportive of it. Is that right?
The supportive data is the data that got thrown into the fires in the
Interesting.
30s, late 30s.
Interesting. So how does anybody know about it?
They rebuilt it.
They revealed the data. Oh, that
Yeah,
sounds beautiful.
but yeah, no, like I mean, you know, uh,
Did you just fart?
no,
Oh,
no, just I'm like, so yeah, people talk about book burning
yeah,
and the people who burned books in the 30s.
yeah.
They don't tell you what books they were burning.
What books were they burning?
The books that said children can be the opposite sex and we can give them hormones and fucking mutilate their genitals.
Oh,
And they
really?
burned that. They literally threw that information into the fire. We're like, that's bullshit and we're not taking it anymore.
Oh, I see. Okay. So the agenda, the propaganda was around them, but there wasn't actually data and research.
It's data and research can be biased, right? And this is very clearly biased research, right? When you
Right.
find out that 95% of people who make it to adulthood without hormones and surgery don't go through with it,
Right.
that means the vast majority don't need it
Right.
and they'll be okay without it.
Well, that's just it. Um, Joe Rogan had a guy on not too long ago. He's some internet celebrity. I think he's like he had a series called Chris Ruins Everything or something like that, and basically he debunks a bunch of shit.
Adam, Adam ruins
Adam
everything.
ruins everything. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So he had Adam ruins everything on, and they were talking about the transgender situation. It's like, so talking about kids. It's like, yeah, I just don't know why we would need to, give kids the hormones and stuff. Or what do you think kids have hormones? He's like, well, yeah, for them it's not a choice kind of thing, right? He's like, well, what do you mean it's not a choice? So like, well, he says, what do you mean? He's like, well, if a kid says that they were born a boy, but they're actually a girl, and you think that treating them like a girl is the right approach, and affirming that they're a girl is the right approach, why do they need to have the hormones? If you're just accepting them for who they are, and they accept that, their situation, what's with the hormones? Why, like, and he couldn't answer that. He's like, why do you have to give the kid the
Of course,
hormones?
you can't answer it because it's not an answer. There's no answers for that.
Yeah, he's like, what? Well, their go-to is, well, if you don't give them the hormones, then they're going to become more suicidal and they'll probably kill themselves. That was
which
the
is
that was the
incorrect.
argument. It's totally incorrect. It's absolutely nonsense. And I discussed that in my video too. So
Part of the problem is these fucking city slickers. I live in Toronto,
that's right.
but my dad was an Italian immigrant, and I grew up with a backyard vegetable garden.
Yeah.
Right, not a farm, but a garden, and I've kept animals. I know what growth is. I know what like people have forgotten how to connect with not nature but with life and with living things. And we're talking about Joe Rogan. Jamie, can you pull up foot binding? Uh, I think we've discussed this before, right? Foot binding is an ancient practice
Yeah.
where you take a child's foot while their bones are still flexible, right? They're still growing. They're not fully formed and not fully what's the word there?
Developed.
Yeah, but developed into the bone hardness. Like
Right.
bones are
Right.
flexible
Yeah.
as babies and toddlers. Your bones are still very flexible,
Right.
and
Start
if
binding them.
you
They start binding them. They're quite young. Yeah.
yes, and you can bend the bones and keep bending them and adding a little bit of tension, the same way you do braces on your teeth,
Yeah.
right? But when you bind the bones of a foot young enough and long enough and tight enough, you will ruin the growth. It's the same with a plant, right? Like you can
Hmm.
bend a plant in the way you want, but it's bad for the plant.
Right.
It's hard on them, right? Like you need some pruning the way you need a haircut and your fingernails cut, but you can harm a plant with excessive pruning and excessive bending. And they say, oh, this little boy at 4 years old says they're a girl. So at 9 or 10, we're going to give them Lupron, which is the same drug they give to fucking pedophiles and rapists to chemically castrate them,
Well, they would know.
as a puberty blocker,
Yeah.
because blocking puberty is just, it's not a problem. In the process of growth, we can just stop puberty and then unflick the switch and everything will be fine. And it's like, no, 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 no. If you knew growing things, if you grew things and knew how it works, and foot binding, no, you can't just stop the growth process. It's happening whether you like it or not. You're only interrupting it and possibly damaging
Right. Well.
it. And when you add those puberty blockers during the growth process, during their puberty,
Hmm.
you can't undo this the same way you can't undo foot binding. To undo foot binding takes not surgery, but multiple surgeries. And most times it doesn't work and you'll never get back to proper form in the foot and you'll never be okay again.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is just a terrible way to deal with like
Well, this is kind of why when I called the video Danielle Smith's transgender decree and capitulating onto the social contagion, is like we know that the science does not back it up, right? The only science that backs it up is shoddy source citing and no actual scientific analysis of things. It was all basically interviews with people who identified as or suffered from, right? And their answers before and their answers after and all this sort of stuff. That is not, and the fact is the pool from which they drew uh, was very small because a lot of people wouldn't answer back. This is the science that they're talking about in terms of this is how we know it works. They didn't have any real record keeping to see how people were being. It was all anecdotal, and that was what the whole argument was based on. But that's the new narrative, and that's the new thing you have to accept. So what I don't like about what what's her name, Danielle Smith said was, we're going to provide treatment to people who are above the age of 18. I'm like, why? Why are you why are you actively involved in hurting people because or indulging them in their delusions to the point where they're seeking medical help to be mutilated? How can you do that? That's and she did it for politics. That's the thing.
Probably. And yeah, like in the vast majority of cases, I think you're right that it's probably not the right path, and it's not going to help. Um, I
Especially
think
now
it's I think, I think
especially
it's a
now that
very
they don't have those safeguards that you were talking about earlier, that's those like 3 year basically safeguards. They don't have them anymore.
right. And I wonder about the data that's probably lost now, or muddied in the waters about the 3 year process, the multi-year process, right?
Thanks, curved pedophile man. It just says curved ped man. Thanks, curved pedophile
Go to
man.
Steam Rise.
Hello, sorry for bothering you. No, I don't know what they sound like. I want to offer
No,
you a
Doug.
promotion of your channel. Viewers,
Oh,
followers, views, chatbots, etc. The price is lower than any competitor. The quality is guaranteed to be the best. Flexible and convenient. Order management panel, chat panel, everything is in your hands. Turn it on, off, customize. Go to Steamrise, you cocksucker. Thank you for watching us on Twitch, curved ped man.
and with that lost data, I wonder how many people, like the suicide rate. I wonder about that for the multi-year. Why is the pedal Scott? No, he was Irish. That was like a Kerry accent, light Kerry. Uh, I wonder because I imagine there's a handful of people that it does help, but I think for the vast majority it doesn't. Like, think about it. There are women who get plastic surgery who probably regret it,
Yeah,
and there are women who get plastic surgery and are happy,
yeah.
right? So where's the balance, right? If you're an adult, I don't think here it's not my business. It's not my place to tell you, Craig, you shouldn't install titties, chop off your penis, and carve a vagina. But you know what else, Craig? It's not my fucking responsibility. You're not my problem. If you want to make that my problem, then we're going to have an issue. But you won't make it my problem. If you go cut yourself some titties and a vagina, and you're still Craig, and we can still, maybe you're Craigina now, and I have to call you Craigina. Oh, but as long as you're still the same irreverent asshole who goes on and does the show, and we can have a good time, I don't care if you have titties and a vagina and you did this to yourself. As long as you're happy and we can get along. When you try to start making it my problem, that's where we're going to have an issue. Because no, whatever you want to do to your body should not come out of my fucking pocket.
That's why I agree.
Shouldn't
Like
make the problem.
she should have come out and said what I said she should have said, and and put the caveat like no funds will from the provincial government, the hope the AHIP system, whatever they call it. Uh, no funds will be going towards these surgeries. Like they're not illegal nationally, so if you have to go to another province to get it done, have at you. But they're illegal here. So
But this whole thing about like hormone treatment for at a certain age, you're messing with the endocrine system at
mhm.
an integral point in the growth process that can't be undone now. It's foot binding. It's I probably mentioned this previously. I knew a guy had a cat. He said he loved his kittens, and kittens are so much fun, and he wanted to keep a kitten forever.
Yeah, I think you
So
told
he
me about
denied
this.
the cat all sources of calcium,
So it wouldn't
and it
grow
worked.
bones.
It worked. The bones did not grow. The cat remained kitten sized into adulthood. The problem was everything else grew the way it was supposed to.
So the brain.
So the organs, like, yeah, the brain, the heart, the lungs were all pressing on this stunted bone structure. And cats can live 16 to 20 years, right?
Right.
I think average is close to 15, but you have cats living, yeah, 21 and 22 years sometimes.
Right.
This cat made like 5 or 6 years because all of its organs were pressing against those bones that were stunted to shit. You cannot interfere. You can guide and you can nurture growth, but you cannot interfere to that degree and
No.
expect positive outcomes.
No,
It's like,
as far as I'm concerned, it's Frankenscience and it shouldn't be allowed.
yeah,
And that's why I say, if Daniel Smith was worth her salt, she would have spoke frankly about it as opposed to politically. That's all I've got to say about it. I'm going to move on now to let's see here. I had an idea. You know what? I'm going to go for it. Why not? We're only an hour and 30 minutes, 8 minutes in.
hit me.
A new, more perfect government. All right. So I have a lot of free time at work, and there's a tool on the internet. It's called HeyPi.ai. It's a little conversational chatbot. It talks to you like it's your buddy kind of thing, right? It's just, oh hey, how's it going? How's your day going? Stuff like that. And then you feed it shit, and it spits it out at you in a conversational way. So Thursday, after watching a video about Justin Trudeau and the federal government, I was really incensed. And after asking for a couple of recipes from HeyPi, I said, "Hey, why don't we talk about something else?" And HeyPi goes, "Yeah, what do you want to talk
Before
about?"
we get into it, can we talk about Justin Trudeau losing his shit and fucking word salading all over the fucking House of Commons?
Oh yeah, I know.
Hey,
And
if the conservatives have their way, everyone will be carrying assault rifles in the streets.
and not only that, he started he had a Freudian slip, hey? It's like we cut taxes for the top 1% so that we could provide relief to the bottom 99% or something like that, right? It was really stupid.
Yeah,
But
he's so retarded. And
yeah,
it's
then
like, you
Polly
know
was like,
what?
"Wow, he needs to calm down, Mr. Speaker." He just totally calls him out, and he's screaming and ranting over there. What's the matter? He's really playing into him. He's like, "Oh, you're not that popular, and
We
I
we
can
need
poke you fun of you every time you get up to speak, right?"
we need to get rough with the anti-gun people,
Oh,
right?
I
We
know.
just need to ask them. So, do you think people should be allowed to carry a sidearm? And when they say no, you say, oh, so women should be raped. You think women should be raped?
Right,
Because the number one reason women are raped is
because they
they
can't
don't have
defend
a
themselves.
sidearm.
Yeah, they can't defend themselves.
Yeah. If they had a sidearm, there's like a 99% chance they wouldn't be raped.
Okay, you take a look at the statistics, and the statistics for this one is not that really reliable because it's a lot of it is testimonial based, but the data is hard, right? Um, but
So's my.
there are more defensive use handgun usages that save lives in the United States every year by a large factor than there are deaths by handguns.
Yeah. No, it's in the realm of 3 million
Yeah,
successful defensive uses of sidearms,
right.
compared to 30,000 firearm deaths that are accidental or murder, and 20,000 of those are suicide. That's
Yeah.
what they leave out every time they tell you so many firearm deaths.
In Canada, it's about 85% of all firearm deaths. 85 or 95.
Is
It's
suicide?
the huge majority of yeah. So
Yeah.
um, just make cost an absolute emperor. That I have a better idea. I have a better idea. So
A new
basically,
world.
I spoke to this AI, Hey Pi, and Hey Pi and I came up with a new constitution for Canada, or at the very least, the preamble and basic premise before it gets into the larger details of it.
Let's
But
hear it.
you want it?
I'm
I'm going to read it to you right
excited.
now. All right.
Because hold on, some people I talk to about politics in Canada, like, and I tell them I'm a Republican, and they're like, "What? What? American Republican? No, I'm a Republican in the technical sense. I think we need to cast off the shackles of what we call our constitutional monarchy, reform the nation and the government as a proper republic with a constitution that means something, that has proper teeth, can prosecute government officials and even the judicial officials
Right.
for violating it.
Yep.
We need. I hope this. Let's see what you guys came up with, you and the AI.
It didn't go into great detail, but I will read what we had. Whereas the government of this great nation, while noble in its intentions, has over time grown distant from the ideals upon which it was founded, it is incumbent upon the people, the sovereign power from which all government authority is derived, to renew and reaffirm those ideals by establishing a new constitution that enshrines the fundamental rights and freedoms of its citizens. Inspired by the timeless principles of individual liberty, personal responsibility, and civic engagement, we hereby create this new charter grounded in a shared commitment to justice, equality, and the preservation of our national sovereignty and security. May this document serve as a beacon of light and hope for generations to come, guiding us in our pursuit of a more perfect union that protects the dignity and worth of every individual.
Hold
And
on, hold on. So far, I have a lot of hope for this.
all right,
This sounds really idealistic, like in the good way.
yeah,
I, we we will forever aspire to achieve this impossible goal.
right.
Yeah,
The next part, there's more that needs to be written on top of this. But the
of
next
course.
part goes, the government of our great nation shall be founded on the bedrock of liberty, justice, and the inalienable rights of its citizens. The role of this government shall be limited to the protection of these rights through a strong and vigilant national defense, a fair and impartial judiciary, and legislative powers that serve to further safeguard the freedoms of every individual within our borders. This Constitution shall be the guiding light that leads us to a brighter tomorrow where the rights of every citizen are respected, their voices heard, and their liberty unshackled. It shall be a symbol of our unwavering commitment to the principles of democracy, justice, and freedom for all.
Again, I very much like this within our national borders.
Right.
That's important. Uh, we have to have national borders, or we don't have anything,
It's true. You don't have a
right?
nation without borders. Uh,
We the people have this land, and in this land, we the people have these rights.
right.
And so you can't just willy nilly walk in here.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's true. Um, And then I went further on. We discussed a little bit more, but failed to put it into the flowery language that this AI had worked out. Um, but we
It's
talked
good
about
story language, though. It's very nice.
no, it is. I
It's
think it is
not
good.
word salad. Like
It's
it's yeah.
it's to the point. It's not overly. It's not overly. It's not ostentatious. It has a
It,
whereas at the beginning, but I think
it
it's fitting.
it's both hopeful and purposeful. Like it's not garbage, and I'm happy about that.
So we had other sections that were going to be expanded upon, but basically uh, described out in very broad terms and then enumerated down into different things. So we had four basic categories. They were uh, the rights of the people, the responsibilities of the people, the powers of the government, and the duties of the government. So basically, each of those would be parsed out into broad ideas, like broad concepts of like loyalty and
Mm.
citizen engagement and you know active participation in the education and instruction of your fellow citizens, that kind of stuff. Um, and then those are the responsibilities of the people, kind of thing. But yeah, so that's how it starts. Any further thoughts?
No, I'm waiting to hear how you guys
Okay, so here's
how you guys yeah.
so I was talking to Canada Man about this thing, right? And he read it, and he's kind of stoic. He didn't say much. He just kind of nodded, and he said, "I like it." And that was pretty much it, right? But he says a few minutes later, after he was brooding in the corner, he said, "Do you mind if I use it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no problem. Go ahead and use it, like for whatever you want. Like the better that it gets out there, the more people who hear this, the better." Is my point of view, right? So I think he's going to do something. I don't know what, but I haven't. I don't know. He leaves me in a need to know basis kind of thing. He doesn't let me know what his needs are until he needs them. He doesn't help me. He
Mm,
doesn't allow me to plan. The most planning I do is like costume design. That's it.
problem with being an ingenue, but go on.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know what he's going to do with it. But that's where it starts, and I guess I don't know. It should be good. What I thought was okay. So I said there's the four sections. So we had the rights of the people. So the rights of the people broadly are the right to uh, self-defense, the right to property, the right to engage in commerce, barter, or what have you, uh, the right to seek betterment through education, the right to participate in the election of government officials. Those are the broad ones, right? The responsibilities of the people were to be civically involved, um, to assist in the education and instruction of others, particularly children and young people, um, to be a good neighbor, so to speak, like respect the rights and wishes of your fellow citizens,
High
uh,
fences make good neighbors, right?
right? Um, and those are essentially the main ones, right? Those are the responsibilities. Oh, self-defense. You are responsible for your own well-being. And you are responsible for the well-being of your fellow citizen. Should you have the means to, you are required to defend yourself or come to the aid of someone who needs defense.
I very much like this. This is the idea I had. If I were dictator for a moment, the one thing I would do is make it that
Yes. Yes.
every
Kissing Gonzo right to travel also within the nation and leave and come back.
every adult must have a sidearm at the very least on them at all times. That's you don't have to have it loaded,
I think
but you have to have your sidearm in its holster on your person when you leave your home. You can load it later if you're afraid or whatever. Like, yeah, I get it. You're not trying to be aggressive, but yeah, when it comes down to it, every person should be like fucking ants. There are no ant police.
yeah, they all have
One
mandibles
ant goes
or
rogue,
stingers.
the surrounding ants just fucking get them.
Yep.
No one calls ant police.
They don't think for a moment, what the fuck's he doing? Is somebody gonna help? They just do it. Yeah. Because they're a hive operation, right? But um my thought is if you leave it vague that you must within if you have the means, you must defend yourself and those around you. So basically it doesn't require you to have a firearm, but it doesn't prohibit you. It also implies that having a firearm is something that is effective for this role, right? Um, and also, currently, well, it is kind of a municipal issue, but basically, the right to self defense also allows for you to seek a firearm. Now, how that's going to go out, like, and nobody can tell you you can't seek a firearm. It's not just you have the right to self-defense, meaning you have the right to learn karate. You have the right to self-defense. If somebody's coming out with a gun, you should have the right to have a gun to shoot them. So now, if he takes a Bruce Lee stance, then you better put up your dukes. If he takes
No,
a Bruce Lee stance with a knife, you think you should be able to shoot somebody who takes a Bruce Lee stance on you?
no. He takes a Bruce Lee stance. You should draw your firearm
Right.
and say, "Think again."
Yeah. But I would
And
say
it,
using a
and
threat of force as a use of is a threat of force is in its own right a self-defense, right? So
well, a threat of force is force,
yeah,
right? So if he closes the distance in his Bruce Lee stance, pull the trigger.
yeah,
Like, yeah,
right. Because you don't know, he might also have like a poison fucking pen, and he's gonna stab you, kill you. Yeah,
may, maybe he'll punch you in the head and you'll hit your head on the curb
and die.
and die,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Um, got a couple of comments from someone watching us over there on Twitch. So to travel, I think was with regards to the rights. Um,
Yes.
gave the prayer, thank you, kissing Gonzo, and then said, I have a right to become mastermind of the world to defend myself. Do it, do it, do it. Um, and then he says, never draw a firearm unless you're going to complete the transaction. It's a good point. Yeah, don't never point a gun at anything you don't mean to destroy.
Yeah. 100%. That doesn't mean you have to destroy it. It just means you have to mean to.
Right. Which goes in line with always know where you're pointing the gun because if you're just inadvertently going around like this and you sweep like five people, you didn't intend to shoot them, but you had the ability to at that point. And
But while we're talking about it and we're having this new, more perfect government chat, Squid.
hey, Squid Coyote, thanks for popping in. Hello again, you two hooligans. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
And we
Someone
think alike in
someone
some ways. Excellent, excellent,
excellent.
excellent. Um,
Someone puts their hands up. I'm not sure I can fight them. I draw my gun. I may mean to kill you, but I don't have to.
right, right. You have within your rights the ability to. It doesn't there. It isn't a matter of what I said earlier about if they put up their dukes, you better put up your dukes. Um, what I mean is basically you have to meet force with force. You can't just immediately somebody says, "Hey, you son of a bitch, I'm gonna kick your ass," and you pull out a gun and shoot him. That's not an appropriate use of self-defense. If he starts coming at you, I'm gonna kick your ass, and you see he's going to throw a punch. by all means. Uh, I'm going to be a follower number 9, the best number. All right. Well, thanks for following, kissing Gonzo. That's awesome. Let's move on with the rest of the more perfect government, because we're getting sidetracked. So we talked about self-defense, and we talked about the duty of self-defense as opposed to a right.
We're not getting sidetracked. We're going deeper. But let's
Okay.
go on.
Okay. So then we go on to the powers of the government and the duties of the government. You notice how the people have responsibilities. The government, because of its powers, has a duty. So,
Yes, of course. Oh,
um,
what good are they if they don't?
right. So, insofar as their powers go, their powers are to provide national security or to keep a standing army in operation for the purposes of national security. They have the powers to legislate upon approval through democratic means, uh, laws that first and foremost are intended to improve the freedom of the citizens. They can't
No
just be
raping
law.
or mutilating children.
Right, right. So they can't be laws that, in their essence, would amount to an infringement of people's basic liberties, or even creep towards it. Um, those are their responsibilities, and I think that was primarily it. Oh, and to hold free and fair elections and uh, provide honest information to the constituents, that kind of stuff. I didn't put anything in specific like it is against the law to lie if you were a government official. I didn't do anything like that because it's impossible to enforce. So it's more along the lines of information must be provided to citizens about the legislation by which you are passing, and it needs to be passed with the approval of the citizens, either through democratic process of elections or through referendum. So if there's something that's going to be done, a large legislative act, and it's debated in the houses, and it turns out that this is a big deal because there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of controversies around it. It's going to change things quite a bit. They want to pass this law, then based on how the debate goes, they can call for it. Well, it should be a referendum, and then boom, it becomes a
Hmm.
referendum. The people are informed on it and get to vote on it. But even via referendum, it doesn't immediately say, okay, well, they voted yes on Prop 9, so yes. It then has to go back and say, okay, here's how we're going to implement the passage of this law. It's not going to happen all in one go. And then that needs to be voted upon and agreed upon by the two houses. Um, to improve their freedom or to preserve their freedom. Both, right? So they've got to have laws that are designed to preserve their freedom, and also if it can improve their liberty further than they currently enjoy, which
It's
is
a hard,
conceptual.
weird thing, right? Like
Yeah,
there's some strange ass libertarians who will say you're free to drive on the left side of the road and shit. Like
right,
we need some kind of rules to make everything work, but we have to preserve the proper freedom of people to make their own choices. This is why I'm torn on that whole capitulating to the social narrative thing with trans people. Yeah,
right.
adults
I know.
can do what they want. Like,
Well, I understand what you're saying. I understand, but I don't want to
yeah,
get back into it. But Kizigonzo makes a good point. OpenAI could be integrated into online announcements of politicians to perform real-time analysis of their claims against fallacy abuse, distorted thinking, and real-time fact-checking. Would be a fantastic way to hold politicians accountable one day, maybe. Yeah, my only concern there was that you could algorithmically massage it so that it works in one way or another, depending on your journalistic proclivities, right? If you are the broadcaster who happens to like the current administration, you could use an AI that had been algorithmically taught to fact check and be generous with their analysis. You know what I'm saying?
this is the most sophisticated bot or the most involved Fed I've ever seen.
He's calling you a Fed because you're really engaging with us. Good point. We'd be able to have multiple third parties review AI code to ensure its compliance and then lock up with blockchain. You know what? Like, people are afraid of AI. I'm not 100% afraid of AI. I'll be honest. I've got.
I've seen enough Westworld to be afraid of AI.
I have. I understand the threat. I don't. I don't know if we're maybe overstating the threat. I think Elon Musk is a smart guy, but I have a feeling he may be a little bit tunnel vision on this. Um,
No,
AI
but
and
he also
deepfakes
thinks
makes
the
creates the
carbon
evidence
tax is a good
before it
idea.
shows you the new proof.
Carbon.
That's true. That's true too. Did you happen to see? Were you here a disabled veteran? Were you here earlier for the special announcement from our former president?
Run it again.
All right, let's run it again. One moment, please. Uh, present.
No offense. I think everyone's a Fed or a bot. If I didn't have dinner
Hi,
with
folks.
you at
This is
the
Donald Trump.
Oh,
I'm pleased to announce Irving Twin and Craig Bragg on Ammunation. Ammunation is the greatest live stream on YouTube, so you're all in for a treat. God bless all you.
it's a good man. Love that guy. Love that guy.
thanks, Mr. President.
um. Anyway, let's see. We're overstating the threat. I think so too. I think so too. Can't wait. I'm never offended. I'm Gen X. Oh, good. Me too. I built the internet. I know what it does. Scooby Doo emoji. Nice. I'm afraid of AI because this is how we get Skynet. AI bot tries to make a basketball American joke. They're trying to kill it. And military tries to kill it, and then Judgment Day. Oh, I love our fucking chat. You guys are awesome. Basketball Americans. I haven't heard that in ages. That's so funny. That's the thing. There's gonna be different armies controlled by people who are, different levels of woke. That's funny.
Oh.
Uh, basketball. Oh my. Yeah. So come for the bants, stay for the rants. No, was it come for the bants and rants? Stay for the
Abject
anti-Semitism,
racism and hardcore.
abject racism, and anti-Semitism. Yeah, we haven't gone after the Jews yet, or did we? No, I was talking about Superman was Jew. Superman's creators were Jews. We were talking about them earlier.
But there's no black Kryptonians. So what does that tell you about Jews?
They hate black. A phone AI pocket trump, the best friend you'll ever have. $9.99 a month. You can never cancel it anytime. That'd be good. I'd buy that for $1. That's pretty ew, but funny too. Yeah, I know. We're a little irreverent on this channel, kissing Gonzo. I hope you'll stick around. Besides that, uh, we don't do this for the sake of trying to be the next big YouTube channel or Twitch stream. We do this for fun. Like, we don't have a ton of viewers.
We just rip
Uh,
it.
we don't
We
have
just
a ton of what do you call it, subscribers. And while it'd be nice to get more, we're not like actively seeking it. We're just like, let's just have fun every couple of, every weekend we'll get together and have fun, and we do. We've been doing game streams. I'd like to do those every Friday. I'm gonna start doing them every Friday, mostly playing City of Heroes because it's back alive again, and there's lots of people playing it. And then Saturdays, either on his channel or on my channel, we do our long form live stream discussion show. Mine's called the Ammunation. His is called Casual AF, which is supposed to be a gaming stream, but it's like only one out of every 20 streams does he actually play a game. So uh, here we go. 45, 47 Trump, 48, 49 Trump Jr. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. You know what? I would love it.
oh no, 51, 52 Baron Trump.
There you go.
That's yeah. Look at this giant This
Yeah, he's like
monster,
almost seven
this,
feet tall. That kid.
yeah,
It's like
this monster of
ridiculous.
white supremacy who's going to bring the West and white people back to their proper place.
Get Powell. Get Power World, says Pock Talker. Yeah, Twin's kind of interested. I'm not super interested in it. I don't mind survival games, but Pokemon as this franchise is completely lost on me. And survival games are not my favorite. I find it very tedious. I like MMOs better to be honest. Oh my God, yeah, says Disabled Veteran. You mean oh my God to 40, 51, 52 Trump, Baron Trump? Or were you saying oh my God, yeah, to Power World?
No, to Trump, to
Oh,
Barron
good.
Trump. That kid is going to be a fucking beast. He's going to rip the world a new one. He's gonna take us into the future. He's gonna fund Elon Musk to Mars. Yeah,
All right, we got a discussion in the chat now about Power World. So Poxox says the only Pokemon aspect is the monster catching, and then Kissing Gonzo says I agree. Pokemon is ugly to my eyes. It's not advanced enough. I know it's meant to be simple, but I'd rather play Nuclear Quake. Quake, that's
wait,
old,
that's
man.
old.
That's old.
Quake
Pal
is
World is Arc, Rust, etc. with Pokemons. Yeah, it's a survival. It's like a post-apocalypse or something like that survival game where you got to build forts and shit, and you collect Pokemon. So, also, I don't agree with political dynasties. I think we're mostly joking, but who knows? It's up to the American people, not me. Trump Nation. Yeah, I am a Trump supporter as well. Yes, I'm not ashamed. I predicted his election in 2016 when everyone said no way he's going to win. I told you I built the internet. Yeah, you mean both Gen X. You're right, sir. Um,
no. I'm
Pox
sorry.
says, look, all I know is I have a rodent with an SMG that looks like Carbuncle from the Final Fantasy games, and I got to name it Pew Pew Chew. That's awesome. Yeah, no, it looks cool. It looks like it'd be fun, but I think for me it'd be a very brief distraction. I would be interested in it for probably an hour, and then I'd be like, okay, I'm
Sorry,
done.
sorry, Gen Xers. I'm from the forgotten generation that got lumped in between Gen X and
Millennials?
millennials. We built the internet. I was the one out. It like you didn't know what the internet was. You
Well,
didn't know what
now,
like what it could do. No, I grew up with this shit. You had it the same way you had fucking 8 tracks and phonographs. Okay,
we had
it was
we
you
had
were
bulletin
on the
boards.
tail end of it, and you were on the beginning end of it, and you didn't know what it was, and you didn't actually own it. I am the generation that separates you from millennials. That made the internet. You guys
Okay,
did not do.
so you're a Zennial. That's what they call them. X Xennial, Zennial.
It's so funny that yeah, we were called Generation Y after Generation X, but it was Y with a question mark, and then the forgotten generation, and then suddenly lumped in, completely forgotten, either made Gen X or millennial. They literally forgot the
Irving was born in
paradigm.
it, molded by it. Here's the
Yep,
thing: we were at the very early ages of the internet. Myself and the other Gen Xers who watch.
people
We were. Hold on
people
a
who
second.
study this.
No, no, no.
Go
It's
ahead.
not that we studied it. We used it. Let me let me get my thought out. We had bulletin boards, okay, which are essentially what Reddit is right now. Bulletin boards basically started it, and Reddit is essentially a bulletin board. We would basically go on. There would be topic what do you call it? Bulletin boards, BBSs, and you would go to that topic BBS and you would chat. And I remember I used to play a game called Blood 2. It was like a first person like supernatural horror type shooter back in the day. Anyway, Blood 2 had its own forums, its own BBS. and you go out, you would go to this BBS. I think they were called forums back then, and you would go to the forums, and you could talk about anything, and only about 2% of the actual boards were um, were actually related to the game. Everything else was about, pornography and sports and everything else, movies, aliens, shit like that. There are all these other subboards that had nothing to do with the game, but people who just wanted to talk about other shit. And there was like rampant, nasty scat porn all over the place. It was just shared everywhere. You didn't have to search for it. It would wind up in front of you at some point. Um, so yeah, that was the internet that we grew up with. And then the internet that you grew up with was when it all started becoming much more media oriented, much more palatable, much more uh, sanitized.
Wrong. No, look, I have an older sister.
I love that. Wrong.
I have an older sister, 7 years older. I have a younger sister, 4 years younger. Generations, people want to put them in boxes based on years. They want to say, oh, the greatest generation is this time period, and the hippie generation is this time period. Generations are built on paradigms. What was happening socially that made the world a particular kind of place? I was born in the 80s. I was born in that Stranger Things world, and I had that in my childhood. My older sister did not have an internet till she was finished university. My younger sister had internet in her pocket in high school. I am of this weird place where I had internet at home, but I still had that 1980s outside experience. So I left the house and the internet didn't come with me. But that was a very short period of time. It
Okay.
was maybe 6 or 7 years. And because it was so short, they want to box us in. But that little spot was that crossover period where I am both a mutant and a normie.
Squid Coyote has a good demarcation point. He says, I mean, how to differentiate comes down to, are you afraid someone in your house might pick up the phone while you're online and basically kill the signal? Right. Did you have DSL, or did you have internet over phone, or did you
Both,
have cable or DSL?
both. That's what I mean, is both. There was a time in my life early on, if you picked up the phone, I lost my internet connection, and later you didn't. And I was in high school the whole time.
Yeah. See, I was an adult by that point.
So, yeah, but my formative years were very transitional, right? So that transitional period is forgotten. And that's why they called us the forgotten generation. And then suddenly it disappeared and we get lumped in one or the other because anthropologists, the soft scientists, love to box things in with no data, with no real, like, yeah, with no experimentation. So the problem with soft sciences is they aren't hard sciences.
Okay. So Kissing Gonzo has a few things to say here. First off, he says, you were in a unique position and experience. Excellent viewpoint.
Yeah,
And then he says, I had a 14.4K, then upgraded to
yep,
56K. I'm trying to remember. I
yep.
think
Me
I could be
too, my
wrong,
guy.
but
Yeah, like
I think we had modems that were measured in baud. Yeah.
if you don't know that sound,
Yeah. That's no, I think it's more like Sound like a couple of fucking retards. What the hell are we doing? Okay. Anyway, I started when Windows was DOS 3.1. I started using MS DOS before Windows was Windows. There was basically, if you
I
wanted a Windows based,
started
you needed a
when
you needed a
Windows was so
Macintosh.
bad, we would access the DOS to make it easier.
Baud rate, yeah. I
Like
can't remember what the
like
baud rate of our modems were.
3.1 and also DOS, that you use them in tandem.
Yeah.
That's my generation. Is we used both and used one to hold up the other like
Yeah. Squid Coyote says,
I
I'm
used
old enough to know the
MIRC,
difference.
they
He knows
used
the difference.
IRC.
He knows the difference between the 14.4 noises and the 56K the modem noise everyone uses in video games. Yeah, the 56K ones are like the ones that go have a ding, like a long sort of buzz in them, right? Yeah, I think that's it. My first programming language was assembly. My first programming language was BASIC.
See, and I used a thing that lasted 6 or 7 years. I used Turing, right?
Yeah, assembly
Yeah,
was yeah,
Basic
BASIC.
was before my time, and C
Yeah.
plus was after my time. I used Turing.
I played old Bonus for my kids a long time ago, and they kept giggling and saying it sounded like robot farts. Yeah, you know
So
what? I
yeah,
bet you that's how they fart.
I I am of the robot fart generation that didn't. Yeah, that people pretend doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But no, you didn't build the internet. We did.
Oh,
If we
bold to
didn't
it.
like Akira,
No, look,
if,
Hasten.
no, no, you
Al
didn't know what
Gore.
Akira.
Al Gore built the internet, motherfucker.
No,
Don't you
no,
forget
no.
it.
Hold on, hold on. I'm old enough to know that when I said, "Oh yeah, Akira was a good film," and people were like, "That's so mainstream," and now when I say I like Akira, people are like, "That's very old school. You're properly like a real weeaboo." No, what? No.
He's saying
If
he
it
he was in.
wasn't for the fact that people my age liked Akira, you wouldn't know what anime is,
No, he's talking
right?
about.
You didn't
He's
know
talking about
Akira.
the
You
internet.
didn't go to see Akira in the theater.
He's talking about the internet because I have a feeling that he worked in network programming back in the day, or has been working in it for a while. That's my thought.
He may have, and he may be your age, but he's not the generation that made it. It's that small, tiny group of assholes and Sigma bastards that were, yeah, had nothing better to do but go on the internet in the early 90s that made it what it is.
Well, the internet will be a big part of the development of a new, more perfect government. I have a feeling that Canada Man is talking about. He asked me if I know how to use what's it called? What's that website where you make websites? I can't remember what it's called now. Not Surfshark. Surfshark?
GoDaddy?
No, Surfshark. I think anyway, it doesn't matter. No, it's not Surfshark. He wants to make a website, and it was right after he said, "Hey, can I have that document? Can I use it?" And I said, "Yeah, yeah, man, go ahead." And he says, "I need to make a website." So I think he's kind of motivated to do something. So he asked me to register a URL. So I don't know what he wants. I don't know what he's going to do with it,
Do
but
it.
he doesn't, like I said, he doesn't tell me what he's going to do. He just gives me instructions. He doesn't apprise me of the larger picture of things. He says, "Get me new boots," and I go and get him new boots.
Tell him to reach out. I'll help him out with this
Um,
if he's interested. With the
you-
proper generation that built the internet and that tiny, tiny little window frame of time, 6 to 7 years, that made it what it is now.
I was so excited when floppy disk man came out. You're that old, eh, disabled veteran? I'm over 55. Well, you've got me, kissing Gonzo. I am 53. I'll be 54 this year. The internet is going to go rouge and enslave us all. Maybe. I don't think it's all that bad. We could watch porn at work before the feds is. And as for the acronym
Yeah,
is invented, yeah, you know
no,
what?
yeah. We had to create that for people so that they
Yeah,
would know.
not safe for work. Uh, I remember going to there was a website called Fark.com. Do you ever go to Drew Curtis's Fark.com?
Fark with the Q.
No, FARK.com.
No.
Yes.
Uh,
Anyway, so Fark.com was basically one of the early news aggregates, and they would have you would basically users would post links to news stories like the Washington Post, New York Times, whatever, and they would put them under a category like some of them were just simple things like amazing or sports or one might be politics, one might be eventually they started adding things like wieners and boobies. People could just post boobies and wieners, and that's where yeah, there was you had all these different. So some would be news, politics, sports, arts, cartoons, comics, or whatever. So basically, this was FARC, and you could categorize it by subject, or you could categorize it newest to earliest. And basically, you would go on there, you would read the story, and then you would go into the comment section on FARC, and you would write your comment. And it was a big long fucking forum of people just shitting on each other's ideas about the story. And it
feds. All feds.
And your goal when a story got uploaded, because people could upload and then it would eventually get approved by mods, your goal was to get first comment. So you would go and go first. That's where first came from. And you would go first, and then it would be basically if you got that, then you eventually got a reward if you did it enough, right? And people were the most politically incorrect on Fark.com. It was amazing. I think there were restrictions on certain words. Oh, what would happen would be if you had said, if you used the word, oh no, this was 4chan. Yeah, I think if
Rudy
you
Poo.
said, if you put the F word, it would say boobies. Yeah, that's right. It would go boobies. And that's how the boobies thread got started. And then people just started uploading boobies. So they'd have a little not safe for work at the end of any article or any story.
No. Rudy Poo and Candy Ass.
I was a gentleman. Our logical thinker is very cool. Uh, I used to use Walkman. I guess that's the same here. I had a Walkman. Actually, I don't. I think I had a knockoff Walkman. I don't think I ever had a
Uh,
Sony. Yes, that's
man.
right. Yeah, yeah. You'd be in zip files, then you have to like combine them again. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Prior to torrent too. Yeah.
Do you remember Rudy Poo and Candy Ass?
No. Yes, you're right. You're right, and I think you're right. So Fark was also a place where sort of memes got invented before they were memes. Before they were like a picture with words up top and words at bottom, they were just images, and people just knew where it came from, and it would just get passed around. So
It
the
wasn't
there was
Fark. It
there
was
was the
fucking 4chan.
I think
No,
Fark had
4chan was the underground version that was not known. Fark may have been
Fark was around before
more
4chan.
for the normies.
No, Fark was around before 4chan. Eventually 4chan, or was it? I don't know. Shit, man. Fuck, now I can't remember. I remember it was started by a 15-year-old called Moot. He's the guy who started 4chan. And
Yeah.
Drew Curtis was I think Drew Curtis was just some like journalist or something who basically had something set up on his computer that would allow him to watch for different news stories to come out. And then he decided to put it together as a website and let other people participate.
But yeah, no, the whole editing your posts.
These millennial are fragile compared to early internet mind raping days. You have to fill
No,
me in on that. I can't remember what mind raping is. Chat rooms were
no,
evil.
God.
This is a
There,
chat room
there,
rated G. Yeah, well,
there,
yeah. Oh, I know. Some of the shit I saw, man. So much scat porn on that fucking BBS for Blood 2.
what oh, I don't understand that, but that doesn't matter. There was a time dropping a hard R. You ready?
The gamer word? That's what it's being called now, right?
The gamer word.
The N word is now the gamer word.
When you wrote nigger, it would auto correct to Rudy Poo.
Rudy
And
poo.
when you wrote
See,
faggot, it would auto correct to candy ass.
call me a fed, it makes me feel pretty. That's hilarious. I was there, game over.
Yep. Yeah.
4chan is too
I bet.
young. 4chan is pretty young. Like, it is a lot of immature sophomore people there, but they're fucking funny.
Yeah,
Um,
but it is too young. But it was what I was when I was young, and there he is, and he knows. He knows. Rudy Poo and Candy Ass. If you're that old, you're old enough. You're in that weird, yeah, that weird transitional stage of the internet.
I think it was Fark because 4chan doesn't care if you use the N word. Fark had a script run that when you made a comment, when you were writing a comment and you published it with the word the N word, um, it would put it in the comments. It wouldn't say Rudy Poo. It would say uh, a distinguished African American who's intelligent and well dressed. Yeah, that's right. It would replace
That's
the N word
so
with like
much
something really
better.
praiseworthy of African Americans. And I don't know if it was like meant to be, we can't use the N word and we're going to do something that is like, the exact opposite of an N. Or was it like a double blind, like, hey, let's make fun of the N word? Now that we've established some common ground and built rapport, let's continue. But be warned, I have alternate viewpoints and information that unsettles the best of them. Hey, man, I'm not worried, kissing Gonzo. We're here to have fun. So, alternate viewpoints. Uh, unless you tell me the world is flat, I'm not going to ridicule you. Or the moon landing
So
was fake.
let me reassure you. I am a rabid anti-Semite.
That's right. He's an anti-Semite, and I enable him because I tolerate him and I bring him on my live stream. So, there you go. Um, The world is bumpy as far as you know. Oh, okay, I don't know what that means, but maybe
No,
he's a flat
I
earther.
know the bumpiness of it, but it's also a globe, and it floats in the depths of space. That's I know that too.
Yep, and we're how many we 20 million or 20,000? I think we're 20,000 light years from galactic central space in the outer spiral arm. I think
Oh,
that's where
it's it's a little bit farther.
it might
We
be.
have 100,000 light years across, and we're on an outer arm, so we're
Outer
like
spiral arm, yeah.
years or more
How
from.
far is our star or yeah, from galactic central?
Sagittarius A. Oh yeah, we're galactic bumpkins.
We are oh, if you lived in the center of the Milky Way, you would look up and see it. Hold on a second. How far is our star from galactic center? The closest star to our sun is about 4 light years away in the
Alpha
center
Centauri.
of the galaxy. Stars are only zero point 0.4 to 0.04 light years apart. Okay, but how far are we from galactic center? How close are stars in the galactic? No, How far is the solar system? Oh, we're 27,000 light years from galactic center.
Yeah, because we have a 100,000 span in our galaxy,
What did I
and
initially
our,
say?
from our
13,000 or something?
outer arm to the center is 27 or more, maybe 50 on our travel space. When we have to jump star to star, collect new fuel, you know.
I have a special fetish for hateful people. I want to learn their psychology. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's fair to say that somebody is a hateful person because that implies that other people are not hateful. I think everybody has in them the potential and the capacity and hell the tendency towards hate from time to time.
Hold
It
on.
depends on who they're hateful to or how they're hateful.
Every rational person has the capacity to hate.
When OpenAI releases their next version and names it Gemini, I share that astrology. Oh, is that what they're calling it?
Maybe. But dude, I don't know. I'm in Toronto. I've seen Palestinians do some weird ass fucking shit in my malls and on my highways, and
Yep.
apparently they're totally okay with being hateful. And yeah, let's ruin everybody's Christmas. They,
Uh, that's hateful.
should I
And
be mad about that? Am I allowed?
being incensed by something is not the same thing as hating that something, right? It irritates
No,
me.
no, no, no. I hate them so much. The same way I'm a rabid anti-Semite. I just want everyone in those regions to get everything they want. I want them all to get everything they want.
Wow.
From the river to the sea, let them all have everything they want.
All right. And there you have it. Excellent point, Craig. Good differentiator. Thanks for clarifying. Okay, now that you've said that, what do you think of what Mr. Twin just said? Yes. I don't know if he's answering yes to that or yeah, I have no idea. It was 2 minutes ago. But anyway, Mr. Twin, this is my channel. I've asked you to be more respectful of our chosen brethren.
Was I not?
I don't want death upon anybody. I don't wish death upon anybody. I don't wish
Oh,
violence
me
upon
neither.
anybody. That being said, I have often fantasized about violence towards certain individuals in the world. Doesn't mean I want it to happen. It's a fantasy. It's in my head. I don't wish for it to actually become reality. Um, but yeah. Uh, I don't know if I want to share this. I didn't. Sorry, didn't hear it. Neighbor knocked. Be right back. Please say again when I'm back. Thanks. Would Irving join XCOM or side with the Xenos? It's a good question, man.
What, Xenos?
The aliens.
No Xenos.
No Xenos. What do you
Exactly what I said.
mean? Oh mercy. Um, yeah. So insofar as what goes on in the Middle East, I don't think that that would ever come to pass here in Canada, especially not under our new, more perfect government. So I have a feeling that, like I was saying before, I think Canada Man's gonna he's got something planned, and he's not letting me in on it. I think he's gonna do something. So I guess we should just keep watching.
And we will. And we have apparently some
New
new
followers,
viewers. So
new viewers
yeah.
from over from Twitch. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Yeah, we got Kissing Gonzo, and there was another person in our chat. Uh, disabled veteran, but I think I've seen him before. Yeah, those are the two Twitch viewers. I appreciate you guys from coming out. Assuming you're guys. I'm saying guys in the non the gender neutral sense.
No, no, no. We don't have to, you know, honor their gender identity. Guys, dudes,
No,
you're all.
I'm just
No,
fishing. I'm just fishing to see if they're girls.
tits or get the fuck out.
Kids or get the fuck out. There are no women on the internet. That's old 4chan. That's really old 4chan. There are no girls on the internet.
No, that's my generation of 4chan. It's post you, pre these idiots.
That's the thing. Girls call other guys, other calls each other guys. It's true. Yeah, they do. Um, I've also somebody. I remember there's a. I worked at a comic book store back in the day, and I was like an assistant manager, or I was a manager of a store. So he had this chain of 4 stores. I was a manager of one of the stores. He was the big boss guy. Anyway, we had a bunch of part-time students, and one of them had just come back from her first year at college. She was a freshman, just finished her freshman. She'd always been very sort of just sort of middle of the road, kind of like low key, like playing magic cards. That was about it, right? She goes off to college. She comes back. She starts to get really sort of like persnickety about shit, you know. And I remember one time I said, I walked in from upstairs or from downstairs where the office was. I walked up and says, "Hey fellas, can somebody help me get the garbage out from the basement?" And it was her and 2 other workers, both of which were boys. And she's like, "Why are you saying fellows?" I'm like, "Because you're my fellow conspiracy comics employees. You're all fellows. It's not a gendered term." But she was all bent out of shape because she thought I was talking about just the guys and not her. I'm like, "No, I said fellas. Fellas is fellows. Fellows meaning my fellows. We're a fellowship of conspiracy comics workers."
Sorry. Immediately, my thought is, Sandra, you get the garbage. Like that's what I would have done right then and there. You, no other person, no man, no woman, just you, Sandra, get the fucking garbage, all of it.
I call everyone motherfucker. Is that wrong? Uh, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I call everybody. What do I call everybody? I call
My
everybody
guy,
every. I call everybody everybody. When you watch my videos, I start with "Good day, everybody."
you do.
Yeah,
I start every interaction with, "Do you have a penis?"
I wouldn't do that unless it was questionable. Like, I'm sorry, but if you can pass for a woman, until I know otherwise, you're a woman. And eventually I might see your Adam's apple, or eventually I might see you on the internet.
How many penises do you have?
What?
How many?
How many what?
How many penises?
Thankfully, only the one. Coffee just like I started saying bubs to folks because it's friendly. It reminds me of Homestar Runner. You ever watch Homestar Runner, Twin? See, I found Homestar Runner from uh from Fark.com. That's where it was. So what happened was on Fark.com every Tuesday, the people at Homestar Runner would make a strong bad email. Strong bad is one of the characters on HomestarRunner.com or
One
homestarrunner.net.
bed
No, dot com.
is fart.
Yeah, that came. Well, it didn't come from Fark, but that guy who got his start really got noticed on Fark. So so yeah, Strong Bad's email was every Tuesday or no, every Monday, but then it became like every once in a while. But yeah, he had him up every Monday. He had him like 8 a.m. There'd be a new Strong Bad email, and Fark on their thing had a category for Homestar Runner. So anything from Homestar Runner that got shared was there. Uh, Crappy jokes aside, that starts saying, okay, Bubs, you sound curious. Uh, Pretty sure that started on Newgrounds. Oh, maybe it was. Maybe it was on Newgrounds. I wasn't really into Newgrounds.
Yeah,
I just remember that.
Newgrounds
I just
was
remember
a
that a site like Fark, which was basically a news aggregator, found it important enough to share the daily or the weekly Homestar Runner cartoon.
yeah. It bit on Newgrounds probably.
If we are going to keep going down the far left terminally online route, I'm just call everyone you fuck. You fuck. Oh, what is it? What did you say back here? Terminally online leftists don't get that saying that like that means we consider you one of us. Saying what like that? Oh, motherfucker? Yeah. Or faggot.
Or Jew.
Yeah, we're breaking all the rules. I think Twitch is probably going to shut down the stream if we drop F bombs. Can you say the FAGGOT? Can you say the F
I
slur
so
on Twitch? I don't
Candy
know.
ass. Yeah. We went on the 4chan route. Rudy Boo Candy ass. We
Rudy Poo Randy. You fuck. The best whiskey is. He's saying it's Pavement Ape. Oh my god. He's saying it's Buffalo Trace Distillery.com, our
No, it
brand
isn't.
tag.
Oh my god. Buffalo Trace as a bourbon is good, but it's not anything special. The best whiskey. You're that's a monstrous question.
What's your
There's
favorite whiskey?
no God.
No, I'm asking you, what is your favorite whiskey?
This is my best whiskey pound for pound. I drink it regularly. It's called Bareface. There's very expensive whiskeys that go into the thousands of dollars per bottle.
You all
Macallan's,
have already broken terms of service. Who cares? Have we? I don't know. How did we break terms of service? Was it
yeah,
with the
drinking,
profanity?
drinking.
Oh,
No
oh,
alcohol
drinking.
apparently allowed.
Oh,
Uh,
that's okay.
Macallan's go 25 years for a couple $1,000s a bottle, and people love that shit. I actually don't like Macallan that much. I don't think it's that great. Uh, you want a whiskey that I'm gonna endorse? Lagavulin, 16 year. That's a good scotch that I will like 100+ bucks a bottle.
See,
Uh,
I don't drink whiskey straight or on the rocks or anything. I drink whiskey mixed with generally cola.
that's
I'm
because
a
you're a fucking heathen,
no.
a
That's just how I am.
godless
Look,
atheist
I want to
that
get it
doesn't
down my
deserve.
gullet and get drunk as quick as I can. I don't want to be sipping shit. I don't want to be fucking going, oh, whatever, and shit like that.
No,
What a
you don't
bouquet.
deserve the flavors the same way you don't deserve the
That's
flavors of
why I
spice.
drink CC. That's why I drink the cheapest shit. When I say, I'll have a rum and coke, they say, okay, is
But
there any particular rum? I'm like,
you
is
want
there any
something.
particular rum you want with your rum and coke? I'm like, just give me the well rum. I don't give a fuck. I want to
But
get drunk. I don't care about the flavor of the
you,
alcohol.
viewers,
Alcohol is a drug. I put the coke in it because that's the flavor I like.
you, the viewer, want that deep of flavor in that drug that gets you the place you want. This is something. Four Roses is okay, but it's not better than the regular wild turkey. Uh, Bareface. You want something greater? You want some Scotch single malt bullshit? Lagavulin. Uh,
My dad's kind of into the
Indian
scotch.
Club.
He likes to drink single malts.
Anything above the bottom shelf is always good, right? So Canadian Club, their 12 year is actually really nice. Uh, Bareface is aged 7 years. It's quite good.
I like Bareface. I've had it on Irving's recommendation. As far as a drinking whiskey, one that you drink unmixed, it's okay. I don't mind it, but I don't like drinking whiskey that way. That's why I don't
Some
pay
people
a lot of.
don't. The
I don't
same
like pay.
way
I don't pay
there.
a lot of money for whiskey. Rye whiskey, like CC, VO, all that shit is fine. Yeah, I'll take
No,
any of it.
but some people don't like spicy.
I don't like spiced rum.
And so I can't tell you that, oh yeah, you're gonna love this uh Grace's ghost pepper or the homemade thing that I
Right,
did. If you don't
right,
like spicy, you're not gonna like spicy, no matter how good it is.
right.
And if you don't like whiskey, you're not gonna like whiskey. You
I'm a
know?
rum guy.
So
I'm a rum guy, and I can't drink rum
yeah,
straight. I don't think rum is really that good straight. I don't think it should be drunk straight.
rum is
Maybe.
sweet. So you put it into a drink and it just makes it sweeter.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's
So
true.
yeah. Oh, I get it. But you want to ask me about what's a good, good, basically grain alcohol? Yeah, we got room. We got room to discuss and negotiate here.
We got a few Pox's toxic takes. So Pox Toxic is a regular viewer and a good friend of ours, and we share a chat. Irving, myself, and another regular viewer, CMAC. We we share a chat, and occasionally memes get posted in the chat, and every week I go through them and see how toxic Pox Toxic has been, and normally he doesn't disappoint. So let's take a look at those right now. I'm gonna present. All right, we starts with a little comic strip here. Toho Company Limited. Do you like Godzilla? I have him 4K. Yeah, it's okay, I guess. The monsters is the monsters is really a metaphor about the horrors of nuclear war, the cultural trauma of whole cities being ruined, and so many thousands dead. Boom, boom. Hang on, what the hell is that noise? He opens the blinds, and it is a an anthropomorphized Godzilla that looks like a basketball American.
It's just a black guy.
No, no, he's got a tail. No, he's got a tail. So he's a Godzilla black guy. Foxford Comics. It's called Blockbuster. Foxford Comics 2024. Well, Foxford Comics, I applaud your irreverence. How about that? Uh, physiognomy check. This is from a X. I guess it's X, or is this? No, this is Instagram. Uh, the top contributor, her name has been redacted. Their name has been redacted. Its name has been redacted. Rough and ready in the home office. New glasses, no makeup, etc. Hadn't realized how much boobies had grown. 19 months, hormone replacement therapy, and fuck, look at this picture. She looks
What
like a
the
comic.
fuck?
She looks like a comic strip. Hold on. Oh, I can't zoom in on it. No,
Yeah,
it
you
doesn't.
can.
Doesn't increase
Control
the
zoom.
size. I am. It's not. It's not.
Control plus wheel.
No, my no. That's increasing the page. It's not increasing the picture. If I downloaded the picture and then zoomed on it, I can zoom it. Because
Oh,
when I do control zoom, look, just the icons get bigger.
I hear you. Don't download it. Not worth
It's not that
it.
great. You're right. So it says the one physiognomy check is saying rough is right. Rough in quotes is right. And then the comment Aqua Teen Hunger Force shit posting said, "You look at him and tell me there is a god." That's pretty rough, man.
No,
All right,
hold
Pikachu,
on, hold on. No, no, no. Wait, 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 wait.
you want me to go back?
Yep.
The moment is
Because
past, but go ahead.
someone said some fucking ignorant comment about look at him and tell me there is a god.
Yeah.
at him and understand there is a dark and evil force that is
which means
effervescent. It exists. A proper
which means
devil.
there's ultimate
That,
evil in the
that
universe, and if there's ultimate evil in the universe, there's ultimate good in the universe.
if there is an ultimate evil that reaches out and says, mutilating the genitals of children is good, actually, there must be a, a an effervescent good, something that is real and properly. Because if there isn't, then we should just go ahead and murder and rape everything. Because yeah,
I hear you.
yeah, no, the universe is cold and indifferent and allows this. And if we don't have a proper good,
Then evil will just be dominant.
then what are we doing?
I hear you.
That
I'm gonna move on.
evil won 1,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, and good is not real. Like without a proper God, that devil isn't real, and therefore we're just dirty animals that deserve everything we get. It,
We got a number of
I'm not
comments.
ready to accept that, man.
No, I agree. Thanks for any ideas. It helps me us understand one another. Also, Captain Jack rum and coke on a fireside with a woman. Can't beat it. I
Hey,
know. Good for you, man. I've been on a beach fireside with the woman of my dreams as well on a number of occasions. With if it's not a rum and coke, it's some other tropical drink I picked up at the all-inclusive bar at the Sandals Resort.
lovely people. I had opportunity to hang out with them. So yeah,
Oh, thanks, man. We gotta hang out again soon. Last night we were talking about that.
yeah, let's do it.
You and I should get together IRL soon. We're not far from each other, so why not? Pull the KN33 up. I don't know what that is.
Me,
Uh, great. That's unlevel. Let's unlevel. I don't know any. Uh, false equivalency are pretty much only funny to hateful people who are handicapped with bigotry. All right, he's calling you out. He's kissing Gonzo does not like your phrases with regards to um, trans people or uh,
we'll
black people, I
see.
guess, or Jews.
We'll 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 proselytize this guy, this rooster, into
I have a feeling that false equivalency may have had to do with your with God, maybe God,
yeah.
and then they went on,
And
and
you're wrong.
then they continued on
Check the
without
thing.
with
Like
the ultimate good, ultimate evil, and then they continued on to call you a hateful bigot. But I don't know.
it's easy to prove God. It's actually really easy. Looking at how evil everything is, looking at how much the devil is there, it becomes hard to deny the existence of a proper God that is pure love and light and wants good for you.
And then Kissing Gonzo goes on to say, "We, sirs, will look like this sooner than you realize." We're not talking about her age. We're talking about the ugliness of her countenance. She's an ugly person. Even in her profile picture, she's ugly. If you look at her profile picture where she's much younger, she looks like an ugly person who's actually a man trying to be a woman, trying to pretend they're a woman. And they're saying, "Look at these boobs. They've grown so much since hormone replacement therapy." Quite frankly, you shouldn't be on hormone replacement therapy because, dude, you would be going into postmenopausal. So,
Ugh.
and you can't suffer from postmenopausal because you don't have a uterus. But that's be that as it may. Uh,
uh,
the best part is this is Box. The best part is that one under it in the feed. Oh yeah, no, I want to get there, but but Irving needs to expand. Um, is from the ATHF ship posting. Oh, Aqua Teen Hunger Force ship posting. Time is precious. Use it to waste our minds. LOL. I don't know what they're talking about. That wasn't even a comment. That was just my feed. LMAO. There is a universe. Have you seen the movement of muons? I don't know what you're talking about. We're having fun here. Decunting people is fun. We agree sometimes. I don't know who.
yeah.
Anyway,
No. No, he's going, oh, the science means that what you believe in Jesus is wrong. It's like, no, no. There's, I get it. There's really bad people and bad argumenters that don't understand the the scientific physical existence. No, I
Um, this is an
what you
interesting. This is an interesting point by Kissing Gonzo, who emphatically states, "Wrong. There is only good. Evil is just less good. Without good, evil wouldn't exist. It's all just a shade of good." I have to disagree. Uh, there is a demarcation point that everybody knows
whoa whoa whoa.
in any given situation. What is what constitutes evil behavior? Everybody knows
What's
in any given
behavior?
situation. They know it. Everybody knows it. You can feel it. And so it's not just a shade. You know when crossing. Now, is that, you know, that feeling coming different for different situations? Well, of course, but doesn't necessarily mean it's a degree. Once you
Hold
have
on.
malice, once you have malice and evil intent, you've crossed over and you act on it.
I don't want to. What's the word?
Lurving's lit
Like,
as fuck.
yeah, I don't want to impose like some belief, like like false straw man the position.
Yeah.
But that's a very scientific position about good and evil. That there's no such thing as cold. It's just a lack of heat, right? So there's no such thing as evil. It's just a lack of good.
Right, but I
So
understand that.
I don't like spiritually. If you want to believe that, okay, that makes a kind of sense scientifically.
Prove your
But
hangout problem. I don't know what that means, but it's okay. Don't hate people. We'll get along. I don't hate anybody. Um, I'm a
no,
cis male. I don't. Well, first off, you're just a male. Don't use that terminology. Cis doesn't make any sense. It's a
is
nonsense. It's a nonsense
it's redundant.
prefix.
The way my vegetarian sister says, "Are you making a meat sandwich?" Sandwich implies there's meat in there.
You can have a cheese sandwich, but that's
No,
not really a
no, no,
sandwich. That's
no. You
just cheese
can't.
on bread.
You have to call it. No, you have to call it something special.
A
It's a
grilled cheese sandwich.
watercress and mayonnaise sandwich. It's a grilled cheese sandwich. It's a peanut butter and jam sandwich. If you just say sandwich,
The
meat is
implication is there's
implied.
meat.
Yeah.
I hear you. I hear you.
But where we are with this
Did you know that definitions in the dictionary change in time? Language is a modifiable thing. Yeah, but principles aren't. You should maintain your principles regardless.
all words are made up, absolutely. But don't let that fucking stray you from the concept of good and evil.
We're all ugly.
Right.
Wait until you really know someone. It's irrational to view another person and evaluate their worth and value based on their singular visual presentation. I don't think it's as
Well,
deep. I don't think it's as shallow as that. I think it's for people who are racist, and I'm not calling you a racist. I'm not calling me a racist, but
no, no,
we're
he's
talking
just
about
gone.
bigotry. Sorry, what did you want to
No,
say, Twin?
no, he's gone so properly scientific that yeah, of course, all people are flawed. All people have bad things to do with them, right? And you can't escape that. What we're trying to talk about is whether or not there's a proper good and evil, and whether or not evil's a property that is different from lack of good.
Evil
Evil's a
behavior
property.
is less the will to survive. Equals less than the will to survive. I'm not quite sure I understand that equation. And no, I haven't read Carl Jung. Uh, Craig Bragg, your message
No,
control on the interface is
evil's
great.
a property that allows people to say mutilating the genitals of children is good, actually. That's a property that is different from a lack of good. That is very fucking different. And
I
we're gonna have long conversations about this when I'm more sober. But when you want to tell me I'm wrong on that point, yes, I'll fight you in a
okay.
better forum when I'm not been this drunk 2 hours into the stream.
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little
This
contaminated
guy's
as
been
well.
drinking weed.
I'm a little contaminated myself. Cis makes sense because dictionary language terminology changes in time with the evolution of society and its meaning for how it describes itself. No, what I'm saying is when I say uh, dictionary definitions change, that's true. But principles are eternal. Morals are eternal. You have an idea in your head of what is right, what is wrong, and you have certain
Yeah.
values that you hold dear and you don't violate them under any circumstances. It
Cis
doesn't matter
male
what
and
the diction it doesn't matter how the dictionary defines a given thing. It's what you know is right from wrong. And in the terms of calling someone cis male or cisgender just because uh,
meat sandwich.
just because the dictionary says it's more proper now, uh, doesn't mean it is more proper now. It's up to you and your moral intuition to decide what is
I'd
reality,
like
what
you to
isn't,
believe
and
sandwiches are just
how much lying affects your soul, or how much telling the truth affects your soul. And I'm not even sure I believe in souls, but the point is, we all know how much of us gets corrupted towards
he does.
less than valuable traits uh, when we behave badly. We know it, and yeah.
He
So
doesn't want
we
to
also know
because
way
he
to
wants.
avoid it. Thanks for sharing how you think. It's a nice conversation. I think kissing Gonzo might be a AI. Principles don't equate to terminology. False equivalence, sir. I don't know what you're trying to imply. Principles don't equate to
No,
terminology.
I
No, they
think he's
don't equate to
trying to.
terminology. Principles are more important than terminology.
No, I think he's addressing the concept of good versus evil.
Oh, maybe,
No,
maybe.
no, hold on. Twitch charred maybe, but I'm actually.
Intrigued.
I think this is a person that we can engage with, and we'll have an honest conversation, right? Like
This is a
I
Twitch
think
chart, isn't it? And then I'm AI, hilarious. I'm just wondering.
no,
Your
you're not an
thought?
AI. You're a Fed. Uh,
Kissing Gonzo.
no, yeah, no, I'm having a good time engaging
I'm
with this.
your dog.
Don't even. I lost my dog, and that's not kind.
I think
Okay, right? I don't think you're evil. I think you're just being kind of an asshole, and that's fine. You're allowed to, and I'll engage with you still. I I
you're
love
less than
a
me.
good ass.
I'm superior. Now you sound like an AI. I'm being an asshole.
You know what?
Well, you're good
Like
at
I
it. Hey,
said,
buddy, you got a talent for that?
I like a good asshole, but that whole thing about I'm superior and I'm
I
no,
think he's.
actually, you're kind of behind the, the fucking curve here because I'm the asshole. I am better than you, and you had better bring it, motherfucker. Because ooh, because if you can't, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose all the respect, and I'm gonna teach these people to lose the respect for you.
I don't
So
know what.
I actually kind of like you. Let's bring it up. Let's do
Pucker your
that
sausage.
hardcore
Pucker your sausage. That means
fuckers.
suck your own dick. I think that's what it means.
My sausage can't pucker. It actually swells beyond belief.
I don't
But
need your
this is the
approval,
kind of person
babe.
I'm willing to engage with and have a good time arguing my theist to their atheist. Right? Like the
Uh,
way I do with you. You're so irreverent, and I try to instill it in you that you actually believe whether you know it or not. I think this guy is the
um,
kind of that might have a proper goodness in him.
All
You
right.
might have
Sounds
a
to me,
flaw.
Kizigonzo, sounds to me like Pox toxic takes have been put on hold. The reason being that we're going to engage in a theological discussion right now. Um, he's called you a liar. I don't know why he's calling you a liar. Then he made a robot tongue sticking out, and then you can barely put your socks on your feet. Why should I trust you? When he's
You don't
asking
have
you
to
to trust him.
trust me.
Um,
No. Oh,
no, I'm what I'm saying is kissing
Fed.
Gonzo, kissing Gonzo, the Fed. I don't know if you're a Fed. The AI. Uh, Irving is a Christian. He is as adherent as he is able to be at any given moment. I am an atheist. I'd like to know if you are atheist, agnostic, where do you lie on this? Um,
I'm not going to ask him about that. Let me share with you my weakness
okay,
as a
agnostic.
person.
Okay.
Oh,
No, you don't have to. You don't have to. I think what we should
well,
just go ahead if you want.
sometimes
I'm not trying to tell you not to, but if you don't have to share anything that you don't want to share, this is a
no,
person you
I don't.
barely know. You don't need to share your
No,
weakness.
you know why? I want to share it for the audience because I am a. I don't think I'm a good person. I think I'm a person who's trying and knows, but questions and like all that stuff. It's hard. It's not easy being material. Like it God,
I
how
love
much
Taoism. I love Spinoza. I love intelligence. Okay, yeah, but it's not the only thing. You can open your soul. Yeah, you're trying. I don't know what he means. Not sure. Um, Intelligence isn't the
no
only thing. It's a good thing. It's a good trait to have,
no
but it
one-
doesn't.
no
It's not
one's
something to be
properly
worshipped. Yeah,
no one's properly enlightened. No one is a perfect, right? When I die, I won't rise again 3 days later to show you and this rooster that like I'm not the one who's going to do it. I just have to try, you know, and maybe I'll talk to you about it and talk to him about it. Talk to Pox the Baptist, the hardest core of all Christians, right? Uh,
Baptist. Yeah, that's cool.
but we're all flawed.
Twitch isn't real time enough. We need to demand that Twitch eliminate video to Twitch video stream real time chat. As a technologist, I think we can do better. Well, okay. Yeah. Everyone's got to have a everyone's got to have a windmill to tip at. If you want to go at
Heck
Twitch
yes.
and get them to fix it, go for it, man. Like, not my call. I just have discussions with my buddy Irving. We both have a little bit too much fun on a Saturday night. Actually, there's never too much fun. Uh, and yeah, we engage in conversation. This is what we do.
Look, I live in a world where there are people who will turn to me and say, mutilating the genitals of children is good, actually.
It's good for
If
them.
you, if,
It's the
if
only way to
you,
save them.
if you, a materialist, an atomist, a fucking, there's no such thing as God. Don't look at this and realize the existence of evil is real. If you want to say there's no such thing as the devil and there's no such thing as God, okay, but can you listen to these people saying these things and believe the concept of evil doesn't exist? You
Um,
you have to argue that in the affirmative now,
uh,
right?
I agree. There
Evil
is a
is not
there is
real.
a there is a star. God is not a bigot. Um, okay, you don't need to do the ad hominem, man. But okay, because that implies that Irving's a bigot. I don't know. Are you a
Yeah,
bigot, Irving?
no, no. Of course I am. Jesus Christ.
Oh, you are bigot. Okay. You are intolerant. You are intolerant of other people and other people's beliefs. Is that right?
I hate most of humanity. I'm not gonna.
I think we're all
And what
bigoted
they
to a
believe
degree.
is mostly bullshit.
I,
What I believe is real, and the only thing that needs to be followed.
I think,
But
I think, I think we're all a bit of a bigot from time to time, and it doesn't necessarily
but I'm
follow along
open to
racial lines.
arguing it, and I think I will win.
I'm a bigot to kindness. I love kindness. I think kissing Gonzo is an AI. It's just saying random shit now. Does a molecule understand evil? No. I'm kicking your ass. I don't know what you're talking about.
We haven't actually argued here. I'm just trying to lay out some fucking premises.
Um, here's my take on it as an atheist, and I might be the one to bridge the gap between hardcore kissing Gonzo atheist and
Let's
Irving
try.
full on Christian. Okay, I am an atheist. However, I do believe I'm a materialist in the sense that I believe that everything that we perceive is of material phenomena. However, I do think that there are things that are not material and they manifest themselves via will of people, via um forces we just don't understand. And maybe they have some sort of extra dimensional source. I have no idea. But there is phenomena that is not entirely material, and it may be related to a higher being. It may be related to higher beings. I do believe in the metaphysics of metaphor. So I believe that certain concepts are fundamentally true in that they're unassailable in their logic and they're unassailable in
Freedom.
their goodness. Yeah, there are certain concepts that as humans we articulate because they have inherent value, not because we as a species value them for some material reason, but they have inherent value. So in that sense, I think we have a connection to something outside of materia, whether it be conscious or unconscious, whether we be the product of directed panspermia or what. It's uh, it's not for us to we can't possibly know any of this, but we behave in a manner as though it's true. We behave in a manner that lives by certain principles, fundamental morals, innately. Um, we
What's this?
recognize vulnerability and we recognize value in life, whether our politics tell us we do or not.
What's this AI saying? Or maybe a rooster guy.
Um, I'm not an AI, bruv. You're paranoid. Okay, maybe. I'm not an atheist. I know you said you're agnostic.
Okay.
I prefer secular realism. Okay, I'm
Okay.
agnostic in the sense that I'm an agnostic atheist, meaning I don't know, therefore I don't believe. Um, Huge diff. Okay, perhaps there are things we do not understand. Back when we thought electricity was godlike, and now we know that it's not. Well, there's still plenty we don't understand about electricity. It's not like an
Always.
understood. Um, we all have an inherent value, the will to survive. Then you too would agree with Nietzsche. Maybe I've never read him. Um, Craig Bragg, you sir, and your latest statement was very cool. Oh, I got a fan. Thanks, Kissing Gonzo. Uh, I think it's the pop because
No,
a
you
lot of
know
time.
what's funny is so much of what you say, I relate it back, and I'm like, that's basically Christian values, my guy.
I
And
know it is
so,
Christian values.
so
I
he's
just don't.
actually, he's like, you're so cool, and I'm like, that's properly Christian values. Yeah, like, yeah. Jesus would be with you on this one.
Okay, he got upset. Um, he says, "Read Nietzsche. I'm not a fanatic of you. Fuck that garbage. Fan in the most loose sense. He appreciates me. How about that?
Nietzsche's, when young is they could
I've not.
do
Have you
good
read
work.
Nietzsche? I've not read Nietzsche.
Yeah, Beyond Good and Evil and Zarathustra. Yeah,
Um, I inferred you were upset. Maybe you're not. Okay, so apparently I should read Nietzsche. I should also read Marcus Aurelius. And
Sure.
I read some Jordan Peterson, which is kind of like Marcus Aurelius, but not really. Uh,
But what
I
we're
read him,
talking
it'll
about,
fuck your head. You can't read upset in chat, nerd. Okay, well maybe you can. Maybe I inferred it.
no,
Read him.
look,
It'll
I
fuck
live
your
in a world.
it'll fuck your head. I love it. Moses was pretty savvy. Punch me in the soul cut.
Hey, my soul got punched when these assholes started saying mutilating children's genitals is good, actually.
Yeah.
When they did that, I was like, yep, no, the devil is real. If the devil and pure evil is real, therefore all the things I was taught to believe about goodness and a proper loving God must also be real. Like there is a proper savior that wants good for us, that has this like this pure love for all people. And the only way we can be victim to the evils, like children should have their genitals mutilated, is to turn our backs on that. Because if that kind of pure evil exists, that kind of pure love exists.
Okay, so he's got a couple of responses. Punch me in the soul, cunt. I think what he's saying, he didn't call you a soul cunt. He said punch me in the soul. I think he meant
Yeah,
comma
punch
cunt.
me in the soul. No, no, no. The soul cunt. Like being punched in the box of your soul.
No, he's saying you can't punch someone in the soul. So you have a soul, cunt? Um,
Do you have a soul? Do I have a soul taint?
I have doubts,
Like
sir.
yeah, my
You're
spirit.
licking your bias like it's your master. I understand kindness and love. Oh, that's sweet. Thanks for sharing your viewpoint.
I
Um, do I
Yeah,
believe in a soul, twin?
you do.
I
You
don't know if
don't
I do.
want to. You don't. You want to say you don't, and maybe we're gonna have a confrontation about it. But you do. You believe in a spirit, in a soul, something beyond the physical that makes good. Good doesn't come out of fucking matter. The universe is cold and dark, but good is real, and you know that.
I think we have well, I've discussed this before on previous live streams, but I think we have an innate moral sense. I think we have a moral intuition. I think that moral intuition is predicated primarily on empathy for living things. And that empathy for living things is an evolved trait for survival. So, um, so yeah,
And
so
completely
I
a
think we have the ability to recognize evil, and evil becomes transcended when it goes against our both our moral values, like our explicit moral values that we have codified, and in our cultural moral values. So that becomes repugnant to us, right? So,
but I just don't see the scientific relevance for the concept of good and evil when we look at the cold, dark universe and everything that happens in the cold, dark place. That is all chemical reaction. And this way that we can, like, if it was all chemical reactions, if it was all biologically valuable, there's no universe in which we would hit a place where the parents of children would look down at their children and say, mutilating their genitals is good and valuable to the cold dark of passing on these genes with no morals.
this is
It's just
interesting.
chemically doing no, because chemically it actually stops them from breeding. So it's chemically bad.
Mm.
Like in the cold, dark universe, this is also bad.
Right.
But we have found a way to justify it, which means evil is real. That's a real thing. That's a real
Right.
intellectually and
Right.
spiritually.
Okay, so his response, or kissing Gonzo. I don't know, kissing Gonzo, if you're a girl or a guy, because you keep calling us babes and sweeties and stuff. So I don't know.
No,
And
because he's an AI and a Fed and a dude and also a faggot.
anyway, I'm a cis man. Oh, yeah, that's right. You said you're a cis man. I don't know why you keep referring to us as babe, but
Is because he likes dicks in his ass. No, I gotta pee. I'll be back.
all right. What were we talking about just prior to that? Was it Soul?
No, Rooster
Oh,
Man, I like you. I'm
evil.
coming back. We're gonna
Uh,
have
evil. Okay, so evil as a response is lack of good. Well, so it's kind of like matter to antimatter, right? They're both extremes of a dichotomy. So I don't know much about science, but my understanding is that antimatter is oppositely charged matter. So protons, electrons are opposite. That kind of thing. Am I wrong here? But anyway, um, the lack of good in a situation is a choice to do evil, right? So lack of good, if it means that you're in a situation and you choose to do the least good thing, then what you've done is evil. Well, then there's no lower limit though, because everybody can think of something more depraved than the other. So evil's limitless. Interesting. To see evil, you must see good. Without good, there is no evil. That's the comparison. Okay, I think you're almost arguing in favor for what Twin's talking about. I'm talking about good in terms of like, because it's a moral, good and evil are moral expressions, right? We define things as evil and good. Um, it's a mental construct first and foremost. That's why it exists in the concept of we witness or see evil acts, and it has an effect on us mentally and psychologically. Does that make any sense, or am I just being incoherent? I can't quite tell at this point. But um, so yeah, there's a dichotomy in that we have a sense for it. We know when we see it, and it doesn't take um, it doesn't take a rule written down in a book to confirm with us that something's evil. Uh, Value is how we respond. I see good as an interpretation of what's valuable. Mm, well, then that comes down to what your values are. Valuable can mean, purely physical, like gold and property and riches and things like that. Or value is your value judgments about situations and things. So,
no, it literally means survival. And that's what's cool about this argument. This might
I don't know.
actually be
I don't know. I don't know if you heard what I said, but basically I said that. Uh, well, I'm not going to reiterate because, quite frankly, I can't quite keep it correct in my head at this point. So,
what we were talking about. Uh, good and evil, and also to a degree because it always plays in uh, evolutionary survivalism. So, is it real? If you're thinking on a purely atomistic, materialistic, survivalist perspective, suddenly it becomes very clear that morality, and even if you don't believe evil is a concept that is real outside of materialism, you have to accept that value wise for evolutionary survivalism, good and evil, are also real because what's evil ends up destroying your children's ability to breed, and what's good keeps them healthy and well and allows them to breed in the future. So if you're an intelligent species that is doing proper questioning, you'll stop giving your kids fucking Lutron and let them breed in the future. Uh,
I love you for your kindness and tolerate my ability to increase conversation. Okay, thanks, bot. You do realize your perspective is relative and anecdotal, or not? I don't know what that means.
Wrong.
Do
That's
you have a
actually not
Discord?
correct. We
I have a
do,
Discord. I have a
but
Discord. So
none
do
of
you, don't
that.
we?
Yeah, but that's actually go back one. That's not correct. It's not anecdotal.
Oh,
This is real. This is very trackable, right? Not only in the modern sense with our modern trackable uh, scientific studies, but
yeah.
go back 10, 12, 70,000 years. Yeah, you can find in the DNA record
I have
those
a.
that
I'm on YouTube and I'm on Twitter. You can watch us on Twitter and YouTube. Uh, sir, 300K, bruh. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, um, Irving, this is a scintillating conversation, but we have gone, catch it, 3 hours and 27 minutes. This is a long, I think this is the longest Ammunation live stream we've done. For you new here, we typically go for about 2 hours. And so
do.
3 hours and 27
Dude,
minutes.
how did I make it? I've been drinking the whole time,
Yeah, well, the
and
conversation's
you
been flowing.
drank weed.
I think it has to do with this drink I had. It's like the perfect combination. I'm happy and I also feel more focused, which is nice. I love it. Let's move on to
And
no
I'm
one
not
tells
gonna
jokes.
lie, I like this guy.
Oh, this kissing Gonzo?
Yeah, yeah. No, you know what? I you want to disagree with me? Let's do it. You know how much Craig disagrees with me, and I fucking rip at him. Let's let's disagree till the cows come home, till Jesus rises again, 'cause he will, whether you like it or not.
I wonder
So
if we'll
I'd love
recognize it. Hold on a
to
sec. I don't want to get too philosophical, but I wonder if we recognize it. Would we recognize Jesus coming back again? Would it, or would it be very metaphorical? It wouldn't be till after it happened that we would go, "Oh shit, yeah."
you're we're all looking at it now, and we won't look. They didn't see it then. It was a few hundred people marched out to Golgotha and watched him rise again. It wasn't until people started uncovering the records of those who claimed they saw, because those who claimed were whipped, scourged,
You're
and
mean and afraid, never be afraid. I don't know what that means. But anyway, um, I want to move on to no one tells jokes anymore.
no, can I have a minute?
Okay, go ahead.
Is this not an AI?
I have a feeling it is.
Maybe. I mean, what a good AI! Like, good for you who made this AI. Can we have the last? Uh,
The last, you are mean
yeah.
and afraid, never be afraid. Did you know this is dead on the vine? Yeah, now he's putting in links to shit.
Show
I'm a
me this.
person. It's wikiwand.com en
Can I
project
have the
2025.
one after that? Like the last thing that made like sense.
I'm a person.
No, but
You are
underneath.
mean. You are mean and afraid. Never be afraid.
Yeah. Am I mean and afraid? No, I'm I'm upset and I lash out. That's true.
I'm a Gen.
But
I'm an ex-Gen Dick. I think you mean Gen X. I'm Gen X also. I'm not our Lord. Don't suck. I don't. I crave to know your hate. We're telling a fucking joke now,
did
and
it
you're all
did
gonna
it
fucking
did it
laugh.
did it lose the thread? Like I really hope that was a proper person that we could talk to. I,
It might
I'm
be. I don't
so
know.
drunk, and I think I could reach that person if it was a person. That's not fair, man. Like, God, what world are we coming to that we have you're a Fed, CMAX a Fed, Pox a Fed, and now I have AI Feds to contain me. Terrible. Just tell a joke. Jesus Christ. Let's be.
I'm going to. I'm going to. But I'm going to use our superior. I'm going to use Hey Pi. Uh, okay, so here's what I'm asking Hey Pi. I wonder if you, oh, you know what? I'm going to turn this on. You might be able to hear what I'm hearing. You hear that?
No.
Okay. Hold on a second here. Okay, so it starts with Hey there, great to meet you. I just heard the voice. I'm not going to do it again. But anyway, so here's what I'm going to ask Hey Pi. Can you tell me a joke, like an anecdote joke, not a one-liner or a riddle? See what she says.
All right, let's dive into a longer joke. There was once a man who had a
Her.
parrot that would never stop talking. The man could not get any peace or quiet, and it was driving him crazy. One day, the man took the parrot and put it in a cage outside. The parrot was so angry that it started to squawk louder than ever before. The man decided to put the cage in the basement so that he wouldn't have to hear the parrot. The next day, the man went to check on the parrot, and the parrot was quiet. The man thought that the parrot had finally learned its lesson. He opened the door to the basement, and the parrot looked at him and said, "I'm not talking until you apologize."
Did you hear that?
I did. Yeah, that was really good.
It's not bad, eh? That voice. Uh, yeah, that's the
Um,
joke. That's the joke that Hey Pi, yeah, the ums tried to sell it as being a real person, but they were kind of in the wrong spot because when you're telling an anecdote joke, you don't stop to go um. Is your thinking. You might go to catch your thoughts before you move into the next part. But
Rooster Fuck here didn't have ums and ahs, and that's actually somehow
yeah,
a
but
bad sign.
you don't necessarily tap them out. Fab. I don't know. It's chat. Grow up, maybe? I don't know what you're saying, buddy. 2024? A joke? Sure. Do I have to tell you about Gonzo? I think kissing Gonzo. He's
Got,
supposed to,
I didn't think AI got tired.
I
It
don't think
got tired, and it just, yeah.
he got
Or
bored.
it's as drunk as I am, this guy, and we'll forgive
Well,
him
look,
next time.
kissing Gonzo. You know what? We're gonna call it a night because this is normally where we end it, right after no one tells jokes anymore. Um, I appreciate you coming out. If you're a real person, then great. I hope to see you back.
Wait, no, I have a joke.
All right, you go.
What kind of coordination is Whitney Houston known for?
I don't know. What kind of coordination is Whitney Houston known for?
Hand eye.
Oh, that's fucking terrible. Thank you.
I
That
know.
song is We'll always love you. See, I have to sing the next part or it's going to be stuck in my head all fucking night. Uh, do I have to tell you about Gonzo? I think you're saying kissing Gonzo means because the Gonzo, the Muppet, his girlfriend was, I can't remember what her name, but was a chicken. Now this looks like a rooster. So if that rooster's kissing Gonzo, that implies that rooster's gay. So there you go.
All I'm saying is this rooster sucks dicks.
You sirs are unable to fight. I love you. I will defend your right to say that is how American I am. I love open ideas. Oh, good. I'm glad you came out. We had some
No,
back and forth,
I'll
some
defend
banter,
his
and
right to suck dicks and not be like Tyson Chicken thighs and because he's probably actually very weak and physically not good for eating.
what have you been eating lately with your fitness stuff?
What a bitch. What a useless cunt. If he
I've been
doesn't
eating.
want
I haven't sucked the dick yet, but I'm not dead yet. Don't be an absolutist. Okay, so he's gay. You may have picked it out. He's gay, or at least he's open
to,
to it.
yeah, like, yeah.
Ooh, my soul is punched. That's okay. You'll get over it. Your soul is immortal. Anyway,
No, he doesn't believe in the soul. He doesn't have one,
I think that's why
and
he
he's
said it. He's
probably
he's
a high
implying
like. Yeah. This is the worst part of being aware.
I have more than one child, lover of stupid. So you can also have children and be gay. Does it? Maybe you're a deeply closeted
The
homosexual like
worst,
Norm
the
Macdonald.
worst part of being aware is knowing.
Your ability to talk shit will get me fired from a garbage man job. All right, so there you go.
It's knowing that not everyone is real. Some people aren't real, man.
Yeah,
They're
probably.
just they're just NPCs.
Some people are NPCs. Did you hear about that guy's equation? He came up with the equation. He's like, look, uh, about 50% of people uh, are,
Robots.
yes, 50% of people don't think. They have no opinions of their own. They just regurgitate what they're told. They can't have their mind changed because they don't have much of a mind. They don't have original thought in their head. Okay. 20% of people, okay, will agree with you or will be right-headed or will know, will be based enough to be correct about certain things. 30% of people are open to being swayed. So you shouldn't concentrate on the 50% of people. And the 20% of people, there's no need to go after the 30%. It's just a matter of determining who they are. Or is it the 30, 20, 50? I don't remember. Anyway,
Yeah,
some
it's
some
hard.
ratio. Some ratio. I want to say it's 20% of people can be swayed. 30% can't. They just won't be because they're too dogmatically opposed to what you believe. And
Fair.
then
Well,
50% of people, you can't make them believe anything. They don't have a mind of their own. All they can do is be led. So if you want to make some change in the world, you've got to go after the 20% who can be changed, or the 30%.
fair.
Yeah,
We'll talk.
yeah. Um, since when were you an expert on humans? Never said I was. Uh, Maybe we just recorded a wonderful conversation to find common ground and differences, and then we remain civil. That is what liberty does. Well, you've been kind of insulting, but yeah, okay, we'll call it civil. I just changed you. Okay, you changed me. Oh man, it's getting
I don't know
fucking
about
sweet.
insulting. Less than cordial.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, using calling you an idiot and a cunt and dim and stuff like that. That's insulting.
I am an idiot and a cunt. That's factual statements.
Yeah, but it
But
doesn't
he
matter.
wasn't.
Even if you are, nobody
Wasn't.
should. Somebody who doesn't really know you very much shouldn't call you out on it
But
because
he
they're just
wasn't
guessing
nice.
at it.
No, he was. He was not nice to the ideas. Be mean to me all you want. The ideas deserve your respect.
It's a gamers network. What do you expect? Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true. But it used to be this, that just chatting before all the e-thoughts got in on it, just chatting was bigger than the gaming, and then gaming became big, and now it's back to just chatting, but it's all e-thoughts. Interesting.
All jiggle titties.
Jiggle
Yeah,
titties.
do your thing.
We're gonna call it a night, folks. I appreciate y'all coming out. I appreciate y'all watching. I appreciate the engagement. You can check out my back catalog. I do this every couple of weeks. I do the other one, the Casual AF on Twins channel, every other week, and we swap. Um, Also, I do sort of brief stream of consciousness, six hexen hammer kind of videos in my car. Except I'm not nearly as good or as well informed as Six Hexen Hammer, whose real name is uh, uh, Warwick Galt or something like that. I had no idea.
He's got a great name. Like, yeah, it's really
Yeah,
good.
he was on Tim Pool the other night. He was on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Timcast IRL. Warwick Galt, I want to say, or Galtz, I don't know. Anyway, he's a well-informed guy, and he's interesting to listen to, and he knows exactly how much to say and then stop saying and stop talking. Like he has a little 9-minute video in the morning about a given topic, and it's pretty much on point. He goes off to tangents, but he leads it back to the original point, and it's all stream of consciousness. And then he just says, "That's about all. Peace out."
Peace out.
Do you think men should dress like kings? Next topic. Well, there are no more topics tonight, Kissing Gonzo. We're calling it a night. So, from everybody here at the Ammunation, I want to thank you all for listening to us rant and bant and become anti-Semitic and toxic. It was fun. We'll do it again. And y'all take care. And I normally finish with a song lyric. How about um, here in Cologne? I know I said it wrong. I walked you to the train back across the road to my hotel room and ordered me some food. And then I'm wondering why the floor has suddenly become a moving carpet. Anyway, that's my lyric. It's a Ben Folds song, and I'm sorry it was long.
Anti-choice and anti-girl. I am the anti-flag unfurled. Anti-white and anti-man. I am the anti-future plan.
Interesting. Very good. I like it. Good night, folks. Take care.